I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
This one has been a long time coming. By now, we all know the struggles of Highland Park football, but amazingly, those 51 losses in a row seem like a distant memory because the Owls started the season 3-0 before taking their first loss here in 2024 and now have won 4 of their last 5 games. Metuchen has not had nearly those struggles. They've only had 2 winless seasons, not counting the COVID throwaway year, since 1970. But this year is the first time since 2008 both the Owls and Bulldogs have had 3 checks in the win column before the calendar page flipped to October. You want juice? Better put the cap on that bottle because it's overflowing. It's Highland Park and Metuchen meeting for the 88th time as we play on a Saturday afternoon on Central Jersey Sports Radio. And it's coming up next.
This is the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
High formation behind Hinton. Under center goes left side of the pitch to Boyd to the 5-yard line. Knocking that tackler, still on his feet. He bullies his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Joe takes the shotgun snap, passes, it's complete. Over the middle to the 40, 30, 20. This is Enzo Ferrero. He's gonna go. Touchdown Westfield.
Off the snap, the handoff. Jankowitz running forward, powering to the goal line. Touchdown. Jankowitz gets the end zone on an 8-yard run up the middle.
Calantoni in the shotgun, takes the snap, he's looking to pass, scrambles out to his right, getting chased by defenders, now back to his left, tries to throw it away, gets almost sacked, throws it away, and it's caught. And he's into the end zone for a touchdown. That's Daedric Harvey. And all of a sudden, it's a one-possession game.
Snap, kick is up, and it's good. Chris Garcia with a 35-yard field goal puts the Linden Tigers up 10-0. Here's Laverty, takes the snap. He will run it himself up the middle, into the end zone, touchdown! And Bernards has won its first ever state sectional title.
Now, the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Live from Metuchen, New Jersey, it's our Saturday edition of the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving. And we've got a great matchup this afternoon between the Metuchen Bulldogs and the Highland Park Owls. Big Central Game of the Week brought to you in part by What's the Scoop Ice Cream Shop in downtown Metuchen, with over 72 flavors of homemade ice cream made with the freshest ingredients. Elite QB Football Training Academy, full-service training and development for quarterbacks at all levels. Sportsplex at Metuchen for an immersive sporting experience. Chris Auto Body in New Hope and Lambertville. They meet people like you by accident. Jan Promotions, official outfitter of Central Jersey Sports Radio, and by Bellamy & Son Paving for all your paving, landscaping, and excavation needs, a founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio. Hi, everybody. Mike Pavlichko alongside Chris Sakonis. We're about 10 minutes from kickoff. And, Chris, listen, between these two programs, that, Metuchen has not always had winning records over the years. We know what Highland Park has had. First time since 2008, Metuchen and Highland Park have both had 3 wins by the time we get to October since 2008. And that's all you need to know. This game has some extra juice this year, my friend.
Yes, it does. And these rivalry games on their own are always a big deal, Mike. But when you have that added juice, both teams on the upswing, both teams that are having success, consistent success at the same time as each other, it does really add a little bit more to it. This game has a lot of meaning beyond just the typical historical rivalry, as important as that is. And I think we've got a good one on our hands here today, Mike.
And we've also got a trio of players on both teams that have two brothers and a cousin. We have the Hansulis clan from Highland Park and the Totes from Metuchen. We're going to hear about both of those. We hear from our two head coaches, Jordan Leitner and Sean Harrison, and both alums of their respective schools. So we'll hear that coming up right here on our Big Central Game of the Week on Saturday afternoon, presented by Bellamy and Sun Paving, Metuchen and Highland Park on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen. They're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, their multi-sport summer camps run throughout the summer. Register your child now at sportsplexatmetuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplexatmetuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
Welcome back on Central Jersey Sports Radio. A beautiful Saturday afternoon in Metuchen for the Bulldogs in Highland Park, and Jordan Leitner, third-year head coach for Metuchen. Coach, you guys are 3-2, got off to a great start, couple tough losses, some pretty tough teams. How do you feel right now?
Feeling pretty good. You know, practicing what I preach, and hopefully these guys take it to heart. 1-0. That's all that matters. This week is all that matters. So hopefully we come home with a win.
It's funny, we've got a couple of brothers and a cousin on both teams. We've got the Hansulis kids we'll talk about in a minute. But talk to me about the Totes. Ryan, the quarterback, Evan, the running back, and Dennis in there, the cousin at tight end.
Yeah, it's a very smart football family. Those kids take coaching into coaching very well, and we're going to rely on them. 90% of this game is mental, and those guys do a very good job at doing that.
And you've talked about the offense and your balance that you've had. That's been very good this year. That's also, listen, if they're going to stop one thing, you've got the other, so you can do both just as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, keeping them back there and just trying to impose our will. But if we can't, then we'll go to the air.
This is Hall of Fame Day, so you get some people back, as I understand it, and I see a couple of alums down here, right? So this game, we talked about during the week, some extra juice, right? Neither of these teams have had 3 wins before October since 2008. You got 2 3-win teams here playing each other in this big rivalry game. What is that like, first of all?
This is a old school vibe. Hall of Fame, obviously, and then the class of 64, 65 will be here. But it's good. It's good. Football is back for both programs right now as we speak. So hopefully we put on a good show, but we keep that trophy.
And you've been in this game when it's been wild. 2006, your junior year. I actually covered the first game for WCTC. They went for 2 in overtime and won. You guys got them back by 1 in the playoffs. What do you remember about your playing days and the intensity of that?
Oh man, I just remember those 2 games being 1 or 2 of the most evenly matched games I've ever seen. Yardage-wise, down to the score, there's 1 point both ways. So we got them in the playoffs, but we didn't get the trophy back, unfortunately. But hey, we ended their season.
There you go. That's it. All right, we'll let it go right there.
Yeah.
Make it be diplomatic, Coach. Best of luck today, all right?
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Over to the other side of the field with Sean Harrison, the head coach of Highland Park. Well, I'll start it off where I left off with Jordan. You've been around this game for a very long time as well. We were talking before about 2006 was an epic that he played in. You were there too and all that. What is this rivalry like for these 2 schools, and especially now that they've both are winning this year?
Just an amazing rivalry. Ever since I can remember, I grew up facing Metuchen every day on Thanksgiving. I watched my brothers, my nephews, all of us play in the game, and it's very special to me. And just fast forward to 2024, it means so much coaching Highland Park football and competing against Metuchen. It's just an amazing feeling.
What was the most thrilling game you were a part of, whether it was whatever mode you were in?
I'll tell you what, I didn't of a great game. I did play in the Thanksgiving Day game, but I remember I was the ball boy in 8th grade. My brother, class of 1986, it was a 6-2 ball game in pouring down rain in a mud bowl over at Edgar Field. And that was an amazing game I was a part of.
Well, let's talk about you guys. And, both of these teams have a set of brothers and a cousin who are on their teams are pretty good. They got the Totes, you guys got the Hansulis clan. Let's talk about, first of all, what your guys bring to the table.
Just a sense of a connectedness, just playing together. I was just telling Coach, I remember I coached his nephew.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Metuchen High School Stadium.
And the team that we beat for the championship were the Hansulis Trios. So it's just
Today's
funny how
BCC
things come
matchup
full circle
between the
just to
Owls
see them
of Highland
score
Park
on both sides.
and your Metuchen
And then, of course, they've got some there
Bulldogs.
to keep an eye on today, namely the quarterback, Ryan Toth, the running back, Evan Toth, and then they got a linebacker, Dennis Seuss,
In an effort to help save the environment,
in
Metuchen
that
has placed
clan.
QR
He's
codes
the
throughout
all
the
in the
stadium,
family, all in the
so that
family.
you
They
can
do a great
download
job,
today's
the family.
football
I've
program.
been watching them ever since they were in the Pop Warner program over in Edison, and just watching.
Before we get started, please pay attention to an announcement from the NJSIAA.
It's just fun to see.
And for you guys, to put together, not just snap that streak last year, but you put together 4 in a row over 2 seasons. We talked about it. Winning is contagious. These guys, and we've always seen them fight. I mean, going back to when they're playing at South River and Joe Theismann's there and talking about how these guys are, laying it on the line. But like now, there's got to be a renewed sense of confidence, right?
Yes, absolutely. Just to see winning, winning is contagious, definitely. So now they know how to win. Now they can keep it. Now it's sustainable. Going into a game, they feel confident. It's just a matter of having a certain amount of confidence, completing a game, competing, and then finally winning a ball game.
Good luck today, Coach. This is going to be a great one with both of these teams doing some winning now. They're both kind of on the same page. Have fun today.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right. That's Highland Park head coach Sean Harrison. Before that, Jordan Leitner Metuchen back with kickoff after this.
Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope is family owned and operated for more than 60 years and still going strong. Chris Auto Body knows an accident can be a hassle, so they make it their mission to make your repairs as easy as possible. One call, they do it all. Insurance claims, towing, rental cars, valet service, and more. Rent a car on site.
Today
and
is
then
also
go about your
Metuchen
day.
Cup
Call
Corner
them at
Day,
888-REP.
and Metuchen
That's
High School would like to
888-REP.
welcome
Or go to
the future Bulldog players
ChrisAutobody.com.
and
That's
cheerleaders to
ChrisAutobody.com.
today's
Chris
game.
Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. They meet people like
We
you
would also
by
like
accident.
to welcome our alumni from the class
Back
of
at Metuchen High School, Mike Pavlichko, Chris Sakonis along with you. The teams are out. They're going to have the national anthem in a little bit, so we'll step away in a second. But big rivalry game today. Metuchen at 3-2, taking on the Highland Park Owls, who are 3-1. And think about this, Chris, 51 games in a row, Highland Park lost. They snapped that streak at the end of last year, and then they went and won their next 3 games to start the year. 4-game winning streak. Winning is contagious, and these Highland Park Owls can kind of feel that.
Yeah, it really is. And something I talked about with Sean Harrison, the head coach, in my chat with him earlier this week was, why do you think this team has been able to break through? And he mentioned that, they lost some close games last year. They finally got that chance to break through with that win against Point Pleasant Beach last week of the season. And he said this year we finally figured out how to finish ball games. And that's something that Highland Park has done really well. They won their first 3 games all by multiple scores. A defense only allowing a little over 10 points a game. So this is a Highland Park team that really has gotten it done on both sides of the ball. Did lose to Spotswood last week, but a real chance for a bounce back against their big rivals, Metuchen. And as we mentioned in the open mic, this is going to be a game that has some juice. This is a rivalry that goes back to the 1930s.
Let's talk about that Hansulis clan. You got the 2 brothers and the cousin. Tell me a little bit about those guys.
Yeah, Marcos Hansulis, third-year starting quarterback for Highland Park, has completed 28 of 43 passes, 436 yards for 6 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's also gotten it done on the ground, 33 carries, 296 yards, and 6 touchdowns on the ground. And Costa Hansulis, 7 catches, 187 yards to lead the Owls, along with Stamatis Hansulis, who's also in the receiver corps.
Well, you got Metuchen, who's got a brother combo quarterback receiver as well, Ryan Toth, and Evan Toth is actually running back, but he's also caught a few passes this year. And then Dennis Toth, who is the tight end. So anytime you get brothers together with a quarterback, it's trouble. Both of them have them. We'll pause for the national anthem to come back with the opening kickoff after this on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Attention quarterbacks. Do you want to improve your game? Need to work on footwork, mechanics, or decision making? Enroll with Matt Bastardi at the Elite QB Football Training Academy. Matt has either played quarterback or coached them for over 4 decades. Matt has worked with some of New Jersey's finest quarterbacks over the years, including many playing in the Big Central Conference this year. Find out more by visiting EliteQB.com. That's EliteQB.com. Weekly training camps begin in January. Enroll now at EliteQB.com.
For the ramparts we watched,
Are you looking for a sports award for your team or one of your players? Forget about trophies and go to Ball Stars. Custom sports balls for football, basketball, and more. And they're on Oprah's favorite customized gift list. Printed right here in the USA to catch all your memories. They're a perfect personalized gift for a coach, team, or a player, and they're the official award supplier of Central Jersey Sports Radio. They do all our postseason awards for basketball, baseball, and football. And the Bellamy & Son Paving Players of the Week. Everyone is wowed when they see them. And they're also great as wedding gifts, table centerpieces, or party favors. Ball Stars creates a custom proof with your art, logo, or text. You approve and it's shipped in 2 business days or less from Kansas. Ball Stars, official award supplier of Central Jersey Sports Radio. Go to cjsportsradio.com, click the ad, and get your very own custom sports award from Ball Stars. Mike Pavlichko, Chris Sakonis back with you on Central Jersey Sports Radio as we get set for what should be a very exciting football game between 2 teams with 3 wins each for October. Hasn't been done in a while around these parts. But Metuchen and Highland Park, Bulldogs 3-2, Highland Park 3-1, Highland Park 2-1 in the Freedom Gold Division, and Metuchen 1-2 in the Patriot Silver with tough losses to New Providence and Johnson. Highland Park won the toss and is elected to receive, and so that's how we're going to get started here today. The Bulldogs in their home blue jerseys with the nice contrasting white numbers. That's the rule now. You got to have the contrasting jersey numbers now, but the Metuchen Bulldogs have always had that. Blue helmets with the paw on the side and blue pants. Highland Park in road white with the maroon numbers, maroon helmets, maroon and black trim. And we are set to go for the 88th meeting between these 2 teams. Metuchen will kick off from the right to left. Jason Woods will put a good foot on it, approaches, boots it away from the 40-yard line. And here's Highland Park to start it out. And it's Ziggy Holland who returns it from the 15 all the way up to the 25-yard line. And that is where Highland Park is going to start out. They'll give him the 28. And the Owls will start on their own 28-yard line here early on in the game. 2 small schools going at it, but a lot of passion between these 2. Marco Sansoulis, the senior quarterback, 28 of 43 for 436 and 6 touchdowns. And the other key number of that, just 1 interception on the season. Ziggy Holland will be the halfback. Jacob Kiros will be the fullback. Costa Hansoulis, a junior. Stamatis Hansoulis, also wide receiver with Jalen Adams. You'll see Kasim Qualls as well. Jared Matos will be the tight end. The offensive line left to right. Alexi Roscoff, Brian Mahoney, Adam Musial, Joangel Flores, and Adrian Guzman. We had a penalty against Metuchen, it looks like, that is going to move this ball up, and they're going to tack it on the end of the return. Looks like a personal foul of some kind, and they're going to spot this at the 42-yard line, so a 43-yard line. So a 15-yard penalty right off, and Highland Park getting great field position. They were going to be on the 28. They're now on the 43. Going left to right, and we'll get you the Metuchen defense in a moment. First play from scrimmage, Hansoulis will be in the shotgun. 3 receivers, actually 4, all the way out to the left. Empty backfield. Hansoulis screen pass left, complete to Qualls at the 42, up the field to 50, down the far sideline of the 42-yard line, where he's run out of bounds by the Metuchen defense. Cameron Hayes-Darina helping to chase him out of bounds. He's in the secondary, the safety. The corners are Justice Leitner, that's the head coach's nephew, and A.J. Chrissy. The outside linebackers, Matthew Jelemy and Daniel Ayala. Inside, Benjamin Mialishin and Danny Montemerno. Evan Toth will be there as well. The front 4, Jason Woods, Cal Johnston on the ends, Michael Montemerno, and Landon Perez in the middle. It'll be a 1st and 10 on a big gain down at the Metuchen 42. Hansoulis will be in the gun again. Tight formation, ball on the left hash, and the handoff goes to the right to Qualls, trying to turn the corner up the middle. He gets inside the 40, down about the 38-yard line before he is hit there. So a big play for Highland Park from their own 43 on first down to the Metuchen 42, a 15-yard gain, and now a 4-yard pickup by Ziggy Holland, it was Kasim Qualls, excuse me. That'll be a 2nd down and 6.
And Quall's very active in the offense in the early going here from Highland Park. Already a catch and a rush.
2nd down and 6 from the Metuchen 42-yard line, left to right. Hansulis in the gun. They're taking plenty of time. 4 receivers to the right in the empty backfield. Pressure rolling to his left towards the sideline. Tucks it and run as close to the first down as he goes out of bounds at the 31 or 2-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. Far side official looks like he's right at the first down marker. And I believe Chris should be a first down for the Bulldogs, for the Owls.
Yeah, and the Owls now showing a little bit of everything there. You had that catch and run from Qualls on the first play, then the rush. Now Hansulis showing he can run it. Very much a dual threat quarterback, and something that this Metuchen defense is going to have to account for, the running ability of the quarterback, Marcos Hansulis.
Well, there's either an earthquake or the band is right beneath us, and I think, Chris, the band is right underneath us.
Well, if there was an
is shaking as they're drumming.
If there was an earthquake, how would we know?
It's true. 1st and 10 from the Metuchen 32. A funny story about that in a second. We're about a minute into the game. Hansulis takes a snap. Now will run it himself. Finds a little room up the middle. Flags fly in as he gets to the 30 for a gain of a couple, but we'll see whether that's going to be a hold or something at Highland Park. Indeed it is. We get the quick call from the official before the final official. They're going to move it back a few yards. And the spot of that foul, which was around the line of scrimmage, and so that is going to be a 10-yard penalty. 15. Oh, my.
Holding on the play.
Yeah, that moves it all the way back to the 43.
Whoops. So that is going to be make it a first down and 21. Don't see too many of those. 1st and 21 from their own, from the Metuchen 42. They need to get from the 22, it looks like. Something like that. 20 yards about. 1st and 20. Handoff goes to Highland, goes left side. Another flag as he tries to turn the corner on the sideline, and he'll get wrapped up at about the 38, but I think this one is going to come back too, and we're going to get a flag. And we'll see how serious this is. Another hold on Highland Park. So they got good field position on a Metuchen penalty on the kickoff, and now starting to move backwards instead of forwards.
And this is going to move them back almost to midfield, actually past the 50-yard line, back into their own territory. Back-to-back penalties there for Highland Park, and that's one thing that, if you're trying to get early momentum going on the opening drive, you win the toss. Penalties like that can really make that difficult.
It certainly can. 1st and a long way to go. They're almost back in Highland Park if the field was facing the other direction. They're back now on their own 48-yard line. It is a 1st and 30 now for Highland Park. Hansulis in the gun, looking to throw, has some time, now gets some pressure, throws it right, incomplete at the 45-yard line. Looking for Stamatis Hansulis. Matthew Jelemy providing the pressure from the outside linebacker spot on Marcos. And it goes incomplete. 2nd down and 30 for Highland Park. Here on the opening possession of the ball game. 10:15 to go in the first quarter. Now we got no score. Beautiful vantage point from here. And as a broadcaster, you do appreciate a nice high school press box. So much room here.
Not only a lot of room, Mike, but also the stands are a little bit steeper than your typical high school stadium, so you're also closer to the field but higher up.
Yes, I do like that. Because you're just like right on top of it,
Yeah, you're right on top of the action.
And we got easy numbers to see. 2nd down and 30 for Highland Park from their own 48-yard line. Hansulis in the gun. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Rolls out to the right, throws it, complete at the 48-yard line. Then quickly wrapped up there is Jared Matos. And making the hit, Danny Montemurno, the leading tackler for Metuchen with 40 on the season. Coming into the game, 4 TFLs and a forced fumble. Metuchen defense has garnered 2 sacks this year, and Evan Toth has the only interception. They've forced 2 fumbles and recovered 1. They pick up 4 on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and 28 now for the Highland Park Owls. Again, 51-game losing streak snapped in the season finale at Point Beach last year. And then they won their first 3 this year. So they went on a 4-game winning streak. And Metuchen, who won their last 4 last year, won their first 3. They were on a 7-game streak. That was the best in the Big Central overall. 3rd and very long. Hansulis on the keeper goes left. He gets inside the 45. Ball pops loose. Metuchen says they have it. And let's see. I don't think that they do. They're going to call that a 4th down. They're going to say that Hansulis was down before that ball popped loose. And so it'll be a 4th down and still a long way. 4th and more than 20, let's put it that way. About 22.
Now that run, of course, not getting the first down, but it does give, the punt team an opportunity to maybe pin Metuchen deep here and maybe try to get an edge in the field position battle. If you're not going to go up, that could help set the tone, particularly if your defense can get some stops on the other end after.
Marco Sansoulis to punt. Cameron Hayes to Rena. Calls for a fair catch, but he lets it sail way over his head into the end zone. I was mentioning before, funny story about something. Do you remember what it was, Chris?
Something I was talking about how the stadium here is very broadcast friendly.
You were. I'm not sure that
Where
was
the story involved?
I don't know. I said I had a funny story about something, and I can't remember it. If you heard it, tweet me, because I don't.
I was going to say, did it happen to be related to stadium
Bulldogs
architecture?
start their first offensive drive.
No, I don't think it was.
On its own
Well, I think
20-yard
we were quite going there, but
fresh out of ideas then.
And clearly I am too. Metuchen will take over on its own 20-yard line. Ryan Soth, the quarterback. Evan Soth at running back. Jason Woods at fullback. Get you the rest of the offense in a moment. Ball right in the middle of the field. 2 receivers right. Under center. Handoff goes left side to Evan Soth. He's got some room up to the 30, to the 40, being chased down the sideline. Can he outrun? No. Runs out of real estate inside the 40-yard line. Pushed out by Ziggy Holland for Highland Park. And a big run for the Bulldogs. They're going to count him out at the 38-yard line. So it's going to be a 42-yard run down to the Highland Park 38 for the Metuchen Bulldogs for Evan Soth. So 1st and 10. Now Highland Park got a big gain, got into Metuchen territory, but then they committed a few holding penalties and got to 1st and 30+ and wound up turning it over, having to kick it away. A handoff on 1st down to Soth right side off the end, and he just gets a few yards forward across the 35. Call it the 33, gain of 5, 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Bulldogs.
And, when you have a running back that could just get those explosive plays for you right from the get-go, like Evan Soth just did there, that really sets the tone for your offense. Not that, Highland Park wasn't going to end it, but it really makes you respect the run even more, and that in turn can open things up in the passing game.
Now, when this game is over and we turn off our stream and then we pack up all our equipment, and as soon as I get in the car, I'll remember that story, by the way, just so you know. 2nd down and 5 from the 33 of Highland Park. Toth looking to pass. Leitner toss incomplete at the 5-yard line to Justice Leitner. No, I was not confusing the quarterback with the head coach, although Jordan Leitner was a head quarterback for the Bulldogs well before he was the head coach. Got to see him play, and also probably a couple of their assistants as well. But he was on the junior on the 2006 team that lost to Highland Park, a game I broadcast on WCTC. They went to overtime, and Highland Park won it by 1 in OT on a 2-point conversion in OT. And I remember thinking, Joe Policastro, Joe's going for it, and they got it on a toss play right. Metuchen came back and beat him 13-12 in the playoffs. Played twice that year. 3rd and 5 down at the 33. Ball pops loose out on the turf. Let's see who's got it. Bodies piling on. Highland Park says they've got it. And this time they do. Metuchen thought they had a Highland Park fumble before, but the Bulldogs caught this one up. Highland Park recovers, and they'll have the ball in their own end at the 33-yard line, Chris, with 7:57 to go. First quarter, no score.
Well, you felt like, it was going to take a play like that for Highland Park's defense to get out of that without allowing any points. Just the way that Metuchen was moving the ball so cleanly and so well with those run plays. Now Highland Park got an opportunity to capitalize on that stop, and plenty of time. We only played a little over 4 minutes in this game, Mike. It feels like both teams have plenty of time to work with here.
Kind of a feeling out period, too, here for these offenses. 1st and 10, Highland Park from their own 32. Soulis in the gun, 3 receivers left. And balls to his right, takes a handoff, runs left, and now turns upfield at 35-40 at the 1st down marker, and then some across the 45, and finally tackled there. And a late flag coming in as well. This one might be against the Bulldogs. Daniel Ayala finished him off past the 1st down marker, but let's see what the penalty is going to be. face mask on Metuchen. And so Highland Park will get the benefit of that after the run, which was about a 13-yard gain. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's going to put the Owls at the Metuchen 48-yard line. Now, this was not the funny thing, but I was going to say I think that we were kind of expecting that some coaches might be in the box, but there are none. So we're all on one side of the press box, and the other side's completely empty. I feel like we could have spread our wings a little more, but that was not the funny thing I was going to say. It was something else. Still can't remember it. 1st and 10, Highland Park. Metuchen 48-yard line. Hansulis the snap. Handoff up the middle. Holland into the pile. Gets maybe a yard before he hits the scrum. And it'll be a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9. But somehow, maybe because I got here earlier, I got like the big boy chair. It's got padding. It reclines. And my back has not been good this week, Chris. So this is like a big help.
And you were able to take that because I showed up a little bit later than you did. So
snooze, you lose, pal.
Early bird gets a worm. Well, no one snoozes when it's a 1 p.m. kickoff, Mike. You know that.
But I forgot your check, good man.
Yes.
And so we'll have to FedEx that with the Roadrunner. No, that was Purelator Courier, I think. 2nd down and 9 for Highland Park. Handoff goes right side. No, it's Hansulis on the keeper. Faked it. Gets down to the 40. 1st down marker, far sideline. And now he's down to the 30-yard line and knocked out of bounds at about the 26. So a nice job there on the run for Marcos Hansulis. And it's a 1st down for the Owls down to the 25-yard line, again at 23 or so.
And, Mike, a lot of time you get these rushing quarterbacks. A lot of times they're understandably going to slide to avoid the contact, risk of turnover. From that run, you could tell that Marcos Hansulis embraces the contact. You saw him bounce off defenders. You saw even the spin move there as he was working down the left sideline. Really talented runner and really effective runner. And that's something that Highland Park's been able to utilize already as they have 54 yards of total offense, 30 of which have come from Hansulis on the ground.
Trying to figure out who called the timeout. We have a timeout taken by one of the two teams here with a 1st and 10 coming up for Highland Park at the Metuchen 25. 6:31 to go in the opening quarter. Halftime today, we'll have recaps of games from last night. Hillsborough over Westfield, 19-13 at home. And also Edison, 27-21 over number 9 Colonia, our Friday night Big Central game of the week, presented by Bellamy and Son Paving. And then we'll hear from Somerville, 41-0 at the half, 41-0 the final. They beat Summit last night, a battle of undefeated teams, and starting to see an elite group form in the Big Central right now. 1st and 10, Highland Park. Hansulis in the gun, Holland to his left. Qualls out wide left, along with Costa Hansulis. And it goes right side to Holland. He's got a couple of yards to the 21-yard line, and it'll be a gain of about 3. Today's game brought to you by What's the Scoop in Metuchen for almost 25 years. What's the Scoop has been serving the people and families of Metuchen with homemade ice cream crafted from the finest ingredients. 475A Main Street, right in the middle of center downtown Metuchen. What's the Scoop is the go-to spot for locals after school or after this game. Whether you're here or not, leave your house, go to the game. 72 flavors to choose from. You would have to go every day for more than 2 months to try them all. What's the Scoop? 475A Main Street, Metuchen, proud sponsor of the Metuchen Bulldogs. 2nd and 6 from the 21 for Highland Park. Knocking on the door here in this first quarter. Their second possession. Hansulis takes the snap, takes the handoff, finds a hole up the middle, but then it closes up quickly, and he gets wrapped up at the 21. Maybe got a half yard on the play. It'll be about a 3rd and a long 5.
Looks like they actually gave him 2 down to the 19, so was able to lean forward and get a couple yards there, Mike. But again, with Hansulis, again, such a physical runner, not something you always see with quarterbacks, but when you have one that's willing to do that and get the extra yard, a couple yards here, a couple yards there can really add up over time for your offense.
He is a big boy. He is strong, and I got to watch some film of him this week, and boy, does he run with some power and some purpose, and that is something you love. 3rd and 4 in the red zone for Highland Park at the Metuchen 19-yard line. Now under the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. No score in the 88th meeting between these two teams. Here's Hansulis, takes a snap, rolling out right, looking to throw, but he's going to get sacked, taken down at the 30-yard line Big play by the Metuchen Bulldogs. Daniel Ayala and Kyle Johnston, outside linebacker and defensive end respectively, coming to sandwich him. They'll rule him down at the 26-yard line, which I think is probably a generous spot, giving him a little forward progress to where he was initially hit rather than where he was thrown back to. So it's a 4th and 11 for Highland Park, and it looks like they're too far probably to kick. They're going to go for this. And it'll be Holland, the lone back to the left of Hansulis on 4th and 11 from the 26 of Metuchen. Here in the first quarter, no score. Hansulis takes the shotgun snap. Rolling out left under some pressure. He's going to dump it and incomplete at the ankles of his intended receiver, Ziggy Holland, at the 20-yard line. A turnover on downs. Big stop for Metuchen. They get that 3rd down sack by Johnston and Ayala. Two guys that Leitner talked about this week. Johnston's so disruptive. 5 tackles for loss. It's his second half sack of the year. And Ayala, he calls him the lunch pail mentality, the leader of the defense.
Well, you always want a lunch pail mentality on your defense, and having an outside linebacker that can provide that, Mike, just so valuable. And Metuchen getting another big stop on defense. So far, the defense is, in those big crunch moments, sink or swim, they've been able to get it done. So could be a defensive battle brewing here.
1st and 10 Bulldogs, their own 26-yard line. Going right to left. Toth under center takes a snap. Handoff. It goes left to Evan, his brother, but he gets wrapped up at the 25-yard line for a loss of a yard. Set you the rest of the Metuchen offense. We mentioned the backs. Matthew Jellamy and Justice Leitner, the coach's nephew, are the receivers, both juniors. Dennis Toth, the cousin of Ryan and Evan, at the tight end spot. Across the line, left to right, Michael Montemerno, Kyle Johnston, Christopher Esso, Benjamin Mialishin, and Avery Torres. Highland Park in a 4-3 defense up front, Jared Matos and Joangel Flores, Brian Mahoney, Quantre Sadler in the middle. Linebackers inside, Jacob Quiros and Ziggy Holland and Michael Oliver Kohler on the outside. We'll get you this 2nd and 10 play. Dropping back to throw is Toth, and he is going to get gang tackled back at the 20-yard line. Inside it, sacked. And both defenses coming up big here early on in this game. The secondary for Highland Park, Stamatis Hansulis at corner, Costa Hansulis at the other. Jalen Adams and Marcos Hansulis are the 2 safeties. It is a loss on the play of about 6, 3rd and 16 from the 20-yard line for the Metuchen Bulldogs. And we're now under 2:40 to go in this opening quarter of play. No score, Metuchen and Highland Park. It's Hall of Fame Day, 1964-65 teams being honored. There were some alums out there on the field. Got to talk to before the game, coming back, and very excited for this one. 2:20 to go. Now it's a 3rd and 16 from their own 20, and we've got a flag on the play, and it looks like Highland Park jumped off, so this will be looks like Metuchen an offside. So it'll be a 3rd and 21 for the Bulldogs. Delayed game, excuse me. Back to the 15-yard line, I was going to say. So now here's Toth in the gun on 3rd and 21 from their own 15. One man in motion in the backfield, but it goes to Evan, who runs it up the middle. A pretty conservative 3rd and long play, back deep in your own end. Gets nothing to maybe the 14. And so Highland Park will bring out the punting unit, and it'll be Jason Woods to boot it away.
We talked about the defense here for Highland Park. That front held firm against the run, Mike, there. You had 2 runs for no game and then the sack there. So a really good job by this front for Highland Park to just get stops, not allow any holes for the running back to get through.
So we're going to have Marcos Hansulis back deep. Here's a kick away from Woods. Also back is Qualls. He'll field it at the 48 and get quickly wrapped up. Drags himself across the 50, then gets knocked back. They'll spot him down at the 49-yard line. We had a helmet pop off from Highland Park, a late flag coming in, now another flag as Highland Park players trying to keep Qualls away from whoever knocked his helmet off, and a good job there by his teammates. And this should set Highland Park up in Metuchen territory here, Chris.
Looks like just shy of it at their own 49, but in any case, Mike, great field position for the Owls, and that's something that I think, so far, neither team has scored, but as of now, Highland Park's done a better job of picking up yardage on their drives. And I think when you have that shorter field, you only have to pick up about 2-3 first downs before you're really in the red zone. You're really, have an opportunity to cook something up. And I think that, this could be potentially a turning point. In these low-scoring games, field position, might not be something casual fans like to talk about a lot, but it's very important in winning football games.
Try to pick up what the official's saying here, but there's going to be a holding penalty against Metuchen. And so Highland Park will start out in Bulldog territory here.
Holding on Metuchen.
So they're going to put this ball at the 41-yard line of the Bulldogs. That's where Highland Park will start out. First quarter, 1:32 to go in it. Mike Pavlichko, Chris Sakonis with your post-game reaction will be presented by the Sportsplex at Metuchen, and we'll have that for you shortly after this game. And for those of you watching on the Metuchen live stream, we're glad to be with you for this one. We have plenty of coverage of high school football coming up at halftime. And in Marcus Borden, it'll be up in the Watchung Hills to go see Watchung Hills this afternoon. A 3 o'clock game as they take on South Brunswick. Watchung Mountains, I guess, if you want to be completely accurate. But you wouldn't call a team Watchung Mountains, so you'd call them Watchung Hills, I guess.
I think the term mountain gets thrown around loosely by our society today.
Really?
I don't really consider,
this is something you've thought about.
Beautiful area. Oh, of course. I have way too much time on my hands these days. And
well, the officials figure out this penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's hilly. It's very scenic. It's really nice. One of the nicest parts of New Jersey, scenery-wise. But they're not mountains. Maybe you want to say Sussex County Mountains.
It's Watchung Mountains.
Okay.
It's high.
Yeah.
I've come down it on a bicycle at 40 miles an hour, so...
See, that's something I cannot say I've done, so I think you've got me beat.
I can,
on this
and
argument.
I can also tell you that I don't think I will do it again.
Okay.
I'm starting to get to that age where, flying down a mountain on a two-wheeled vehicle with pedals at 41.5 miles an hour, a personal best for me, is kind of not what I'm into anymore. I do like riding, but I'll take the 41. I did it, and I could say I've done it. They figured out, and they were trying to figure out the spot of the penalty, so they put the ball at the Metuchen 44, but it is going to be a 1st and 10 for Highland Park, still in Metuchen territory. And Hansulis throws left. It bounces off the fingertips of Justice Leitner, or of somebody, and then I think Leitner was near it, perhaps. No, it was Holland. And then trying to see who the Bulldog player was. It was near a few guys, but almost tipped right into their hands. An eventful incomplete pass for Marcos Hansulis, almost his second pick of the year.
And that's another thing, too, is, you can account for so many things with the football, decision-making, execution. It's not a round ball. Sometimes it just bounces away. You don't want it to. And, fortunate for Highland Park, it ended up hitting the turf there.
Trips left for the Owls. Here on this 2nd and 10 play from the Metuchen 44-yard line. Hansulis takes the snap. Handoff up the middle. This is Qualls pushing the pile. He's got some room inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. And Johnston there, as well as Dante Montemorno for Metuchen. But it's a nice gain on 2nd down, 9, and it'll be a 3rd and 1 coming up from the Metuchen 35. 3rd and 1, I should say. Gain of 9. Is that what I said? If it wasn't, now that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I marked it as an 8-yard one on my...
I feel like I might have said a gain of 9 and a 3rd and 9, but I don't have the benefit of replay, and I'm just getting old. You're the youngin'.
Yeah. Someone should tell my hairline. I didn't get the memo.
You think I could wheel this chair out of here and nobody will notice and just bring this to every high school game I go? This is the best chair I've ever been in a high school press box, and I just don't want to leave. I feel like I'm on my couch watching a game in front of me on like a surround sound screen of some kind. 3rd and 1. Hansulis in the gun, takes a snap, fakes a handoff, keeps it himself up the middle's got the first down, and hit at the 32-yard line by the Metuchen defense. Nice job there by Hansulis. Works that fake handoff well, and Kyle Johnston wrapped him up. 1st down, Highland Park at the Metuchen 32, and we're down to the final 20 seconds of this opening quarter.
29 yards on 6 carries already for Hansulis. He's been the go-to guy in the run game in addition to making a couple effective pass plays through the air, Mike.
And Highland Park will let the clock run down on the first quarter. 6 seconds and 5, and as that's counting down, we'll tell you that there's no score. Metuchen Highland Park in Metuchen. We'll be back with more of the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy and Sun Paving after this.
There is no score.
Attention quarterbacks. Do you want to improve your game? Need to work on footwork, mechanics, or decision making? Enroll with Matt Bastardi at the Elite QB Football Training Academy. Matt has either played quarterback or coached them for over 4 decades. Matt has worked with some of New Jersey's finest quarterbacks over the years, including many playing in the Big Central Conference this year. Find out more by visiting EliteQB.com. That's EliteQB.com. Weekly training camps begin in January. Enroll now at EliteQB.com.
I remembered it. We were talking about the earthquake.
Oh, yes.
So if you remember, there was one, I don't know, about 10 years ago, something
2011.
Like that. Yeah, okay.
Epicenter in Virginia.
I was on my bike at the time, and I got to Surf Taco in Point Pleasant. And I was, or Belmont, somewhere. I got to Surf Taco, and I sat down, opened up my Facebook. Not so long ago, it was MySpace. It was Facebook. I'm not that old. And then I saw earthquake. I'm like, man, I didn't feel it. I was out on the road riding a bike. Because you don't know. You're riding, you're moving. You don't really, every bump you feel on the road, you know? Back to start the second quarter, so we got it. And here's Highland Park. We're 1st and 10, and then touching 32-yard line on a keeper, Hansulis, and he gets dragged down, but not easily, inside the 30-yard line. You can see the strength on that play. There was a smaller body on him, and it looked like, you know when a bigger animal gets attacked by a smaller animal and they're on their back?
Right.
And they just kind of drag the person with them. That's kind of what that was like, and I think only the weight might have brought Hansulis down. On a gain of 4, it'll be a 2nd down and 6.
And again, he has that bigger frame, and he has that ability to use it to his advantage. It's a dangerous combination. If you're an opposing linebacker, it could be hard just to bring him physically to the ground.
2nd down and 6. Gain of a little more than 4. Handoff up the middle. This one goes to Holland. Not much doing. Maybe got a yard or so in forward progress before he got driven back. Here's what jogged my memory. The band started playing and the press box started shaking again. Yes. An earthquake came into my head, and I went, oh, yeah, that was the story. So, Chris, don't worry. You won't get a call now at 3:30 as you're heading back home going, I remember now.
Mike, can we be perfectly honest with each other for 1 second? We've worked together for 6 years. You're going to call me about something else.
Let's
true. Let's dispense with the notion.
You just won't get a call about that.
Right.
Yeah. When have we never been honest with each other? 3rd down and 3-ish from the 26 of Metuchen for Highland Park. Hansulis in the gun, 2 receivers left. Holland to his right, but he keeps it. Tries to run right, not getting anything. He got blown up. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd down and about 4 coming up for the Bulldogs, or for the Owls, excuse me.
And right now you're seeing that defensive front from Metuchen really sort of close down on the run a little bit. A moment ago, Highland Park was doing a good job of picking up yards on the ground, but right now you see maybe a little bit of an adjustment here, and 3rd and 4, you can kind of go either way on this, or 4th and 4, I should say. So let's see how they come out here.
Looks like they knocked him back a little bit, so it looks a little more like a 4th and short 5 now, and the Owls are going to go for it. 10 even to go in the first half, no score. Hansulis in the gun, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right, ball in the right hash, takes a snap, rolls out right time, throws it through the hands of his intended receiver inside the 20-yard line. That goes incomplete. Jalen Adams, the senior, was the target. 4 catches, 72 yards. Coming in today, it's a 4th down, turnover on downs. Metuchen will get it 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line in a defensive scrapper today, Chris Sakonis.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed really is you look at the yardage here, and I haven't tallied it up specifically, but Highland Park has done a good job picking up first downs, getting deep in the territory, but Metuchen's had that bend but don't break defensive shape.
Takes
when
over
it gets
on first
near
down.
Scoring range, near the red zone, Metuchen's done a good job of closing down, forcing 2 straight turnovers on downs, and now let's see if the Bulldog offense can really get some momentum going in their own right.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Metuchen from their own 27-yard line. Here's Toth. Try and get his team on the board. No score yet. 9:52 to go in the first. Toth will be under center. takes the snap. One man in motion to the left. The pitch goes to Evan. Right side, gets off the tackle. Bulldozes a defender across the 30 and down at the 32-yard line. A gain of about 5. And it'll be a 2nd down and 5 on a nice first down run by Evan Toth. The team's leading rusher, 318 yards on 52 carries with 5 touchdowns coming in. He's gone over 100 twice this season. And Toth now on 5 carries is halfway to that century mark again at 48 yards. 2nd and 5 Dogs. Toth the deep back. Woods in front of him. 2 receivers to the right. Leitner and Hayes Dorina. Toth under center, takes the snap, handoff again to Evan. Evan bulldozes across the 35, still pushing the pile, first down across the 40-yard line. Got it with about 4 yards to spare, and the Bulldogs move the chains. 1st and 10. We've got a Bulldog who's slow to get up on the turf right now at the 40-yard line. Trying to see who that is. And that is an offensive lineman, it looks like. But it is Landon Perez, who is one of the backup offensive linemen, who is down on the turf right now at the 40-yard line. Looks like they're working on his right knee, perhaps. While we have a moment, then we'll take a break and we'll come back with more. No score, first half. 2nd quarter, 9:03 to go in it between Metuchen and Highland Park. 88th meeting back after this on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope is family owned and operated for more than 60 years and still going strong. Chris Auto Body knows an accident can be a hassle, so they make it their mission to make your repairs as easy as possible. One call, they do it all. Insurance claims, towing, rental cars, valet service, and more. Rent a car on site and then go about your day. Call them at 888-RECT. That's 888-RECT. Or go to chrisautobody.com. That's chrisautobody.com. Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. They meet people like you by accident.
Mike Pavlichko, Chris Konis back with you at Metuchen High School as we have the injured Metuchen player making his way off the field on his feet, Landon Perez, but a little bit gingerly. So with some small school football, Metuchen will be down a man here on the offensive line. Not as a starter on the chart, but the number 2's just as important. Ask Greg Schiano. 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Handoff goes right side to Woods, the fullback across the 50, first down. As he's tackled there by the Highland Park defense. Quantre Sadler in there. Jacob Kiros on the stop. First down Metuchen down at the Owls' 48-yard line. And one thing to watch, Chris, is that as good as Highland Park has been, and Metuchen has been good as well, the Bulldogs do have more in terms of numbers. So you have to kind of watch late in the game and see how Highland Park does this. And also late in the first half, too, as we have flags. They tried to get that playoff, Metuchen did, and they committed a penalty. It'll be a false start. Knock them back 5 yards into their own end, their own 47. It'll be a 1st and 15. But something to watch for. The depth can be an issue.
Yeah, it can. And you know, this is a game where, you know, it's been a ground and pound affair so far. Not a lot of big plays through the air so far. We know both teams have the potential for it, but it hasn't shown yet. And in those type of games, especially on the front, on both the defensive front and the offensive line, you know, could be sort of a test of endurance and wills.
So 1st and 15 for the Bulldogs. Toth under center, 2 receivers to the right. Toth takes the snap, hands off to Evan up the middle across the 50-yard line, still on his feet. Stiff arm down to the 40-yard line near sideline and pushed out of bounds near the 30. And getting that last shove was Tamaris Hansulis. And it'll be another first down for the Bulldogs. 7:48 to go here in the first quarter. No score, but the Bulldogs are moving.
Yeah, they're going to spot that at the 30, Mike. But the run there from Toth, you know, he was going down the right sideline. And I think the big part there was about halfway through that run, Mike. He had the awareness to sort of, you know, sidestep to the outside, juke, whatever you want to call it, get to the outside, and he was able to create that space. A lot of backs would just run straight and get the tackle there, and then you're only picking up maybe 10 or 12 yards. But a big difference-making move there for Toth. Very good awareness for the back.
23-yard gain. Now the handoff goes the left side to Evan. He's trying to get around a defender in the backfield, but can't at the 32-yard line. That was Jacob Quiros who blew that up. Team's leading tackler, 30 tackles and 4 tackles for loss. Number 1 in both departments for the Owls. A loss of 3, 2nd down and 13 for the Bulldogs.
And that's a good one there because you needed someone to stop the momentum of that Metuchen run game. So if you're Highland Park, that was a good play, sort of gets them off schedule. And now does that maybe force you, if you're Metuchen, to go to the passing game a little bit earlier? Plays like that can really set the tone on a series.
Number of games in the Big Central today, and some of them are later. There's a few 1s, but there's a couple of 2s, a 3. There's even a 4:30, I believe. 2nd down and 13, and it'll go left side. Not much doing for the Bulldogs that time. And on the carry was Jason Woods. He got back to about the original line of scrimmage, so we'll call that, well, let's see. Are they going to put it at the 30 now? The 31. So he got a couple back, 3rd down and 11 for Metuchen. But they've had some big gains on this drive. Trying to put one in here before halftime.
And already the longest drive of the game in terms of number of plays. This will be the 7th play of the drive, Mike, and it's just been a very good, chip away type of offense for Metuchen on this drive. It's been a lot more efficient, a lot more productive, and could lead to the first score. We'll see.
And the Bulldogs take a timeout, and with that, we're going to thank What's the Scoop for sponsoring this broadcast here today. They are in downtown Metuchen for almost 25 years. Homemade ice cream crafted from the finest ingredients. They're at 475A Main Street in the center of downtown Metuchen. What's the Scoop? The go-to spot for locals after school or after the game. Could be after this one. 72 flavors to choose from. It's certainly a warm enough day that you could do it. You'd have to go every day for more than 2 months to try all of the flavors at What's the Scoop? 475A Main Street in downtown Metuchen. Proud supporter of the Metuchen Bulldogs. You want to go there after the game, Chris? They got some good stuff. 75 degrees. It's sunny.
I feel like I've been issued a challenge because you said every day for more than 2 months. 2 ways I could approach that. 1, I could go every day for more than 2 months.
You could.
Or 2, my preferred approach, just go once, try every flavor. You'll feel bad about yourself for a day for eating 72 scoops of ice cream, but the ice cream will taste amazing.
Do you remember the picture I sent you the other day of the ice cream in a freezer?
Yes, you did.
What's the Scoop?
Yeah, you sent it to me. It was good.
I live in Hillsboro, okay, and they've got What's the Scoop at Norris Hill Farm out there. They have a lot of, locally sourced stuff, and it's great. So go pick some up there, too, by the way. Out of the stoppage here, 3rd down and 11 for Metuchen, and here's Ryan throwing right side to Hayes Darina. First catch. He's got it now, crisscrossing the field from the 30 to the 20. Still on his feet, inside the 15-yard line. A big, big gain, 16 yards on the pass play. First down, Metuchen.
First down, Metuchen after the play.
Hayes Farina on his first touch of the game. Just doing a great job there, just spinning, getting away, working towards the sidelines. And that was just, a big chunk play that came through the air that they really needed, Metuchen.
They've had a lot on the ground, Chris, and one of the things I talked about with, Coach Leitner during the week and also in the pregame was that they've got more balance than they have in the past. They've been more of a run-first team. This year, it's a little more balanced run and pass, and now we get Hayes Darina involved in the offense. So 1st and 10 for Metuchen, ball inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. It goes to Evansoth this time up the middle, inside the 10, pushing the pile. Now he gets away down to the 5-yard line, but he's going to get stopped up before it gets to the end zone. Knocked out of bounds around the 3. And that will be
by Evansoth.
Possibly a first down here. Let's see where the marker went down to the turf. So it's tough to see exactly where. But it is, going to be a 1st and goal. So 1st and goal, the ball just inside the 3-yard line.
The first down.
So Metuchen trying to punch one in here. 5:28 to go here in the opening quarter. No score. Metuchen Highland Park, but this is the closest anyone's been. 1st and goal at the 3. Handoff goes to Evansoth up the middle. He will not get it. Stopped it around the 2-yard line. And so they'll take another crack at it, and the clock will roll. 5:20 to go in this opening quarter. No score, tight ball game, 88th meeting between these two schools. And Highland Park leads 61-25 with one tie. Bulldogs break the huddle, 4:51 to go here in the opening half. Second and goal from the 2. No score. Dogs trying to get on the board. Ryan Toth, hands off up the middle. Woods, did he get in the end zone? Yes, touchdown. First score of the game comes with 4:38 to go before the half.
Scored by
Metuchen leads Highland Park 6-0.
And Mike, that was classic ground and pound football. Just run it up the gut, just power through and get into the end zone for the touchdown. And a long scoring drive there for Metuchen ends in the opening score of the game. And it's just really good play on the ground there from the Bulldogs.
And not even to Evan Toth. They give it to the fullback, Jason Woods, for his third touchdown of the year. Coming into the game, 11 carries for 80 yards, but Woods now with 15, so he's at 95 on the year. And a touchdown. Hold on, though. We've got a penalty here against Metuchen, but is that going to be after that play and affect the point after here? They are going to... They called an illegal formation on the
Metuchen.
So they will try to do this again, is what they will do here. On for the PAT is Woods. So he's trying to count for all 7 of the Metuchen points. With the touchdown, now the PAT, and then Highland Park jumped off, so guess what? They're going to go back to the normal spot. Back where we started from.
Yes.
Illegal formation of Metuchen. Offsides on Highland Park. On separate plays, they will wipe each other out, and we're back to normal here. So now Woods will go from the typical distance for the PAT with 4:38 to go in the opening quarter. Opening half. Here's the snap. Ball is down. Woods approaches, kicks it up, and did it go through? Yes. I thought it might have been maybe a little off to the left. But he got it through, and it's 7-0 Metuchen. 4:38 to go in the opening half over Highland Park at home. Back with more. The Big Central Game of the Week presented by Bellamy & Son Paving after this.
When you have a paving job, large or small, call Bellamy & Son Paving for a job done right. Residential or commercial, they do driveways, parking lots, plus excavation, prep work, and stone paving. Bellamy & Son will provide you with a free estimate, and they're fully insured. Call them at 732-968-5999. That's 732-968-5999. Or visit BellamyandSonPaving.net. Bellamy & Son Paving, proud sponsor of the Big Central Player of the Week. Look for it every week on CJSportsRadio.com. Bellamy & Son Paving, a founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Only thing I think we need at this press box here, Chris, is I think we need like one of those sunshades, that comes down. Like one of those things. Those things, the ones you can see out of, but the sun doesn't get in, that they put on windows, like little...
Yeah, the one-way...
Although this is a very nice, clear view. And the turf is beautiful here. It is brand new. All right, Dylan Manfrey, the PA announcer, telling us it is new. The kickoff after the Metuchen touchdown is going to sail into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. So Highland Park will start out on their own 20 here with 4:38 to go in the first half. But again, I come back to depth and numbers, and I feel like if you're Highland Park, you don't want to be a team that's got to come from behind to win. And right now they're down 7-0. They do have the ball, though, on their own 20-yard line with 4:38 to go in the half.
You got the ball. You got 4:38 to go. You are in prime position to take your time on this drive. Go down the field. Play your offense. Don't have to go into the hurry-up. Don't have to necessarily throw the ball every down. And still plenty of time. So I think patience is the key right now if you're Highland Park. You've done some good things moving the ball.
4:38 to go in the opening quarter. Opening half. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Here's Hansulis. Marcos takes a snap, hands off Holland, trying to go right side. He gets across the 20, but then gets wrapped up there by a bunch of Metuchen tacklers and tossed back. They'll give him a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9 coming up from the 21. Halftime, we're going to hear recaps, interviews from last night Number 3, Somerville, 41-0 over Summit last night. Both teams were undefeated, but the Pioneers now 6-0. Next week, Thursday night, just 5 days, we're going to see Summit up at Bernard's, which is also undefeated after a win last night. 2nd and 9. Honsulis in the gun from their own 21. Takes the snap. Play action. Throwing it down the right side of the hash mark. Incomplete off the outstretched fingertips of Kasim Qualls at the Metuchen 45-yard line. Nice bomb down the field, just a little too far for him, and he was in coverage as well. Also at halftime, recap of Edison's 27-21 win over number 9 Colonia. Eagles opened up with a win, lost 3 straight, but now they've won 2 straight. Tough stretch for them coming up. They got St. Thomas Aquinas next week, which, by the way, without Chase Young, who had been medically cleared to play after collapsing on the field last week in that game up at Elizabeth. And by the way, what a great classy move by the Elizabeth players who ran over to the corner of the field to help push the stretcher out at like top speed out of the field to get him. But Aquinas played Paramus Catholic to overtime last night and lost when they went for 2 to try and win it and didn't get it. 3rd down and 9. Honsulis looking to pass from his own 21, complete, bobbled but caught at the 22, but then quickly wrapped up there was Stamatis Honsulis, his first touch and target, and they are going to give him a gain of 2 to the 23-yard line. It'll be a 4th down and 7. So Highland Park is going to go 3 and out here on this possession. And we'll also hear from last night, Kevin Cardy. I'm trying to remember who I already mentioned. Kevin Cardy, junior head coach of Hillsborough. 19-13 win over Westfield last night. Hillsborough's one of those teams, too. They play in such a tough division, but they've gone back and forth. Loss, win, loss, and last night a win. So they've rebounded from all 3 losses with wins. On to punt. Costa Honsulis. Good, strong boot away. Looks like it'd play for NYCFC. Returned at the 40-yard line from Metuchen up to the 50 and across, and then quickly taken down there. That was Hayes Dorina for Metuchen, so they'll have it with 2:44 to go, Chris, here in the first half. Up 7-0. You're going to start in Highland Park territory. Is this go for the jugular time? I mean, I know there's a lot of time, but if you can put Highland Park down 2 scores going into the second half, and you're going to get the ball as well,
after the return by Cameron,
really go for it right here, I think.
And I think your defense has held really well. Up until now, it's been a very low-scoring game, a very defense-heavy game. You've got a short field. There, you have no reason not to go for it here and really push to get into the end zone again. You go up 14-0. Yes, you have a whole half to play. Highland Park has the offensive firepower to come back, but you're in command of this game heading into the locker room.
And you're at home, too. 1st and 10. They'll have it at the Highland Park 47. We're going to get a whistle, and Highland Park is going to call for a timeout. So we will step aside as well. 2:44 opening half, 7-0 Metuchen. They have the ball to start this drive at the Highland Park 47 on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen, they're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, their multi-sport summer camps run throughout the summer. Register your child now at sportsplexatmetuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplexatmetuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
Back at Metuchen High School, Mike Pavlichko, Chris Sakona, 7-0 Metuchen, leading Highland Park, 2:44 to go here in the first half.
And, Mike, this is really an opportunity if you're Metuchen. You're coming off of a scoring drive, 10 plays, 73 yards, 5-12, letting in that 2-yard touchdown run for Jason Woods. You've got a chance to both churn off some clock and potentially go into the halftime break up 14-0. Feels like a golden opportunity for the Bulldogs here.
So it'll be 1st and 10 after the Highland Park timeout from the Owls' 47-yard line. In the gun is Ryan Soth, and he hands off right side to a new, that's Justice Leitner, who lined up as receiver but took the handoff and turned around the right side for a nice gain of 5 yards down to the 42-yard line of the Owls. 1st and 10, he gets a 5-yard gain, and it's 2nd down and 5. Hold on a second here. They got a flag on the play. That's going to bring it back, and it will be another 1st down for Metuchen. I believe it was a hold, Chris. There you go.
Yep.
Dylan Manfrey, the PA announcer here, confirms it's a hold right as it comes out of my mouth. They'll have it back at their own 43-yard line. Bulldogs have taken some penalties in this game that have come back to hurt them. They did not on that scoring drive. No mystery there. Two receivers out wide left, two to the right, ball on the right hash. And here's Ryan Toth in the gun. The snap was a bit left. It goes to Evan. He gets to the 50-yard line, keeps those feet moving, turns across the 45, down to the 43. Marcos Hansoulis took him down. And it'll be a second down and about 6 as he picks up 14 on the play.
A 14-yard run by number 20.
So 14 handing off to 20, and he gets 14.
And that was a big chunk play you needed to really bounce back from that one there, Mike.
Second down and 6 from the Owls 43 for the Bulldogs. Toth in the gun, claps, takes the snap. Plenty of time, good protection, throws left, has Hayes Dorina complete at the 40-yard line and quickly wrapped up there. It winds up being a long crossfield pass, but only a gain of about 3 or so. See where they spot this? Well, they gave him a great spot at the 38-yard line from where he was taken down. I thought 40, so it's only a 3rd and 1 now for Metuchen. Nice crossfield pass there by Toth across the body, in the gun again. 3rd and 1, takes the snap, 1:07 to go, looking, airing it out, right sidelines, got a man down the field near the end zone, dropped in the end zone off the hands of his cousin Dennis Toth. He had it on the right hand, but he had 2 guys on him. Nice sportsmanship there, too, by the 2 defenders. It was Hansoulis as well as Kasim Qualls, and Qualls kind of gave him a handout, helped him up. You like to see that in an intense rivalry game, helping the offensive player up. 59 ticks left on the clock. It'll be a 4th and 1 now for Metuchen. Got to go for it.
You got to go for it. The percentages are as in your favor as they're going to get. You're on the Highland Park side of the field. You've got 59 seconds left, so not a lot of time to defend if you don't get it. And 4th and 1, high percentage. Plus, I really like the way they've been running the rock today, Mike.
And you're not punting it through the end zone. You're only going to gain about 15 yards or so. You don't want to give it to a Hansoulis. That would be a Greek tragedy. 4th down and 1, a push up the middle, and they're going to get it. And a nice job right there. I believe it was still Ryan who kept the football.
Metuchen, first down.
And runs it up the middle. Indeed, it was first down for the Bulldogs.
A short run by Ryan.
As they get the first down on 4th and 1. Gain of what? 3, 4, is that you telling me?
Timeout.
Looks like they spotted at the 32, so that'd be a pickup of...
Okay. And now is this a
6?
Metuchen timeout, I believe, as well. So timeout here. So plenty of interviews coming up before we get halftime from Somerville. We got Matt Bloom, Brendan Pacheco, Terrence Mitchell. We got some from Edison. And Nakir Ito was out for last night, so that made the Edison win doubly impressive over Colonia, number 9. We're also going to tell you that we're going to have a fan vote for our game on Friday the 18th. We're going to have 4 games, and we'll reveal those this week. And you can vote early and often, just like you plan to do in the presidential election probably. And you can weigh in, and the winner will be the game that we broadcast on Friday the 18th. Next Thursday, we only got 1 game next week. It was supposed to be Saturday. We were supposed to have JP Metuchen on Thursday, but the Saturday game got moved to Thursday. So Alec Crowdhamel and I will be with for that one on Thursday. And right now, don't have a Friday game. I'm not sure if we're going to have one or not. Trying to see what's on the schedule next week. I know Chris is looking at me because he was supposed to be on that one. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. And here is Toth in the gun, looking to throw. He's got all kinds of time now. Going to throw right, flag in the backfield. Maybe a free play, maybe not. Cam Hayes Dorina, the catch at the 25. Knocked out of bounds there. It's shy by about 2 yards from the first down. But let's see what these flags are. They're going to be on Highland Park or Metuchen. It's going to be a hold against Metuchen. That is a lot of holds we've seen in this game on both teams, so that's going to bring that play back. 44 seconds to go in the half. 1 timeout for Metuchen, none for the Owls, or 2 for the Owls, I should say. I'm looking at the big 0 on the board. 7-0 Metuchen is the score.
You really had to let me down hard like that we might not be doing a Friday game, Mike.
You know what? I don't know, but I'll tell you, there was a game that I was... We'll talk later. There was a game I was going to go to, and I said, I kind of want to maybe see that game as opposed to just broadcast. I don't know. We'll see. Got to figure it out. From the 42 of Highland Park, a quick toss left, a screenplay, complete to Justice Leitner, and he's on his feet across the 30, still on his feet, 20, 10, he'll get into the end zone. It looked like a nothing play, but it's a touchdown for Metuchen. They're up 13-0, 33-6 left in the first half.
On the pass from Ryan Toth.
2 yards on that one, Mike. And
all after the catch.
All after the catch. Looked like maybe he was going to pick up a few yards, making it more manageable down there, but out of absolutely nowhere, rabbit out of the hat there for Leitner. That was terrific. Just the acceleration on that run, too, Mike.
I mean, he looked dead to rights in the backfield. And then all of a sudden, he gets up the sideline, gets through a couple of narrow holes, and scores the touchdown. So now it's going to be Jason Woods on for the PAT. And what do we have here? We have a whistle blown, and they're pointing over towards a Metuchen sideline. Woods is trotting to the sideline now. Let's see what they're going to do here. I'm not exactly sure what the issue might have been, but it looks like Metuchen is coming out. And either they're going to bring out a new unit or go for 2. They are going to go for 2. They have not gone for 2 all season, I don't believe, or at least they have not converted one. But with 33 seconds to go in this first half, Metuchen looking to go up by 15. So I'm not sure why that got changed. Officials stepped in and blew the whistle. And now we've got another flag as everybody was getting into their stance, a delay of game on Metuchen. So that's the second one they've taken on that.
Delay of game, Metuchen.
You never know. It could be intentional. Sometimes you want to be close, but if you're not going to run that play up the middle, maybe you get a little more room for yourself to do something and spread out the defense a little bit close to the goal line. 33 seconds to go. Here's Toth under center. Is going to hand it off up the middle, trying to push into the end zone. Jason Woods, does he get there? Yes, for the 2-point conversion. It's good. Metuchen leads at 15-0. 33 seconds to go in the opening half. And we'll remind you that today's game is brought to you by What's the Scoop in Metuchen. For almost 25 years, they've been serving the people and families of Metuchen with homemade ice cream crafted from the finest ingredients. They're at 475A Main Street, right in the center of downtown Metuchen, the go-to spot for locals after school or after the game. And with 72 flavors to choose from at What's the Scoop, you'd have to go every day for more than 2 months to try them all. It's a good challenge. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll see if we can do it in a year. But anyway, stop at What's the Scoop, 475A Main Street in downtown Metuchen, proud supporter of the Metuchen Bulldogs. And as I said, if you're out way west of here, maybe a half hour away in Hillsboro, if you go to Norris Hill Farm on South Branch Road, shameless plug for them, it's where I get my whole milk every week that is right from the farm, unhomogenized milk. It is the most delicious thing you've ever had if you're into that type of beverage. But anyway, they have What's the Scoop there as well. So if you can't make it out to Metuchen, stop by Norris Hill Farm and pick some up. And they got some. Then you can get like the fresh bacon, the cheeses, the good fruits and vegetables, and maybe go on a hayride too here in the fall. Yeehaw.
Yes.
33 seconds to go in the first half. Metuchen up 15-0 on Highland Park. The Bulldogs 3-2, trying to snap a 2-game skid to 2 pretty good teams, Johnson and New Providence. Their wins over Middlesex, South River, and Roselle. Highland Park 3-1. They won their first 3 games after snapping that 51-game skid last year. Had their 4-game overall winning streak snapped by Spotswood. Woods kicks off. Line drive kick along the ground. The far side, Holland will pick it up at the 18-yard line, try and get upfield, but it'll get out of the sideline at about the 25-yard line with 27 seconds to go in the first half. 13-0. Bulldogs on top. They got 13. They did not get that. So I thought they got that 2, right? Or am I missing that?
So they had gotten we thought they had gotten the 2
and then we were
the press
yapping.
box, but I think it might have been short.
Okay, I thought they got in.
I thought they got in.
The officials went touchdown.
I thought
so
I
then
saw
did they meet after that and confer because we didn't get another play?
There was a second there where we were talking about.
They came in, not touchdown, but they made the goalpost sign with the hands. So
Yeah,
somebody
I
must
think
have
it might have been
overruled.
overturned. Yeah, it was a close call one way or the other. He definitely fell into the end zone.
1st and 10 for Highland Park. I mean, he put up the signal. There was no doubt about that. Hansulis hands up off the middle to Highland, and he's able to get a couple of yards. They do have 2 timeouts left. Let's see if they take them here. I think they might not, as they're letting the clock run down to 15-14, and that should be it. They're going to let the clock run down on the first half, and Metuchen with a 13-0 lead will go into the locker room ahead of Highland Park in the 88th meeting between these two schools. Metuchen Bulldogs lead this trail the series 61-25 with 1 tie. That one was 0-0 in 1939. And then Jay Dackelman, the old coach and athletic director at Highland Park, his son is here, Mitchell. He films for Highland Park, and he was talking about some great games. And then someone else was talking to me about a game that was 6-2 or something like that at one point. I'm seeing a 6-0. I'm looking at some other games, but there have been some wacky games over the years. But he was talking about in the 40s. You know, some of those games. There was a 2-0 game in 1949. It was the first time they played on Thanksgiving. So there's a lot of history in this series. Both of these coaches were involved in that 2006 season where they played twice. But so far, fun game to watch. Defense has ruled so far, but Metuchen has just made more big plays, Chris.
Yeah, and I really think that, the way this third quarter starts is going to determine the outcome of this game, right? 'Cause let's not forget it, on top of everything else, Highland Park got the football to start this game. So you're Metuchen, you score on 2 straight drives. Highland Park didn't have a chance to respond before the half. Oh, by the way, you get the football back to start. So if you capitalize on that drive, you're looking at 17-0, 21-0. You could really be in control if you're the Bulldogs before Highland Park even gets a chance to go back on offense.
Plenty to cover here at halftime. Wins last night by Somerville, Edison, and Hillsborough, all coming up at the halftime. Post-game reaction from those. Post-game reaction from this after the game, presented by Sportsplex and Metuchen. 13-0 at the half. Bulldogs lead Highland Park at home on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen, they're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, there are multi-sport summer camps run throughout the summer. Register your child now at sportsplex@metuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplex@metuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
Welcome back at halftime here on Central Jersey Sports Radio. Let's take a look at some of the action from last night, starting with Marcus Borden's coverage of Somerville and Summit, a battle of undefeated teams. The Pioneers won 41-0 at Brooks Field.
Post-game interviews are brought to you by
the Sportsplex at Metuchen, your local indoor sports facility. With leagues and classes, there's also open gym on the courts and turf. Just check their Instagram page for dates and times. Sportsplex at Metuchen.
Coach, a dominant performance tonight. The first half had to be like a playoff atmosphere from your standpoint. Sure. The way you played, the way your team came out, the way you adjusted defensively. Talk to me about what the plan was coming in here.
Really, honestly, the plan is what you saw. That's really what we thought we were capable of doing. Obviously, when you think about it for a game, you don't necessarily think it's going to go all the way that well, but it absolutely did tonight. I mean, all our kids played fantastic. All our coaches did an excellent job. I mean, that's how dominant.
And now, please welcome to the field the 2024 Pride of Metuchen Marching Band.
The total team win tonight.
NASCAR offense, you get up.
Pride of Metuchen is proud to be the recipient of numerous accolades, including the 2015 COB Atlantic Coast Group 3A champion, 2022 COB Atlantic Coast Group 4A champion, the 2021 and 2022 COB Chapter 7 4A champion, the 2023 COB Chapter 7 4 Open champion, and the 2022 COB NJ State Group 4A champion.
Mitchell has 2 picks.
Feeding the band today are our talented drum beaters, Claire Flores, Joseph Ducey, and Gianna Toscano.
An aerosol. Talk to me about what was the plan.
Well, really, we knew we had to establish a run game first, and we were able to do that, and that kind of opens everything else up from there.
Our dedicated band directors are John Messenger and John Flynn,
yards while running the ball,
with the guard instructions, Dylan Fernandez and Tara Giovanni.
that's lethal.
The
So
color guard
it's
designer
really
is
exciting.
also still in
One of the
for
best
Nat.
performances that I've seen so far this year, Coach. I mean, just
The percussion instructors are Jason
excellent on
Gomez,
defense.
George
And offense,
Buscol,
that's a pain in the
and
butt.
Sid
Talk to me about what you did defensively
The
that
visual
pretty much
instructors
threw them
are
off
Josh
a little bit.
Pagan
Coach Haynes,
and
Coach Haynes is
Natalia
fantastic coach.
Alsteri.
Really lucky that he's on my staff.
Our band music is arranged by
These
Spencer
guys
Sports,
prepared ready to go. I mean,
with
it really
percussion
was
music
put them in the right
arranged
spot,
by
put
Dave
them playing.
Patterson.
These guys played hard.
Nicholas
Our
Demar.
defensive staff is great.
The drills
I
is
saw you
designed
were
by
doing
Steve
something, though. You were
Delgado.
moving your line before
This
the
season,
snap
the band will
and
be
then have to
competing against
adjust
Portland
that.
fans,
That was
US
part of the game
fans,
plan.
Yeah,
no
little
doubt.
step with that all year,
America's
actually.
competitive
It's
circuit.
certainly challenging. I mean,
Kicked off the
I was
season
a
strong,
line
scoring
coach
first
to
place
start off with.
with
So I
a
know
76.1
how troubling
at
that
the
can be,
TOB
especially
South
from the
Plains
snap.
competition.
You have all your
The
ball
Group 4
set, you
open,
know where you're supposed to be.
followed by
going.
another
All of a
first place
sudden,
match
T-line
with a
changes.
77.1
So it's certainly a
at
challenge
the other
for
TOB
opposing offenses to handle.
Arthur
Coach,
L.
lastly,
Johnson
you guys
competition in the
played
Group
both
4
of your
open.
JV kids the second half.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I thought that was a class act by both programs.
Yeah, our show
keeping the
this
kids
season
healthy,
is
et
titled
cetera.
Reflection.
Talk to me about number
Today,
77,
Ben will
though,
be
the guy that I
performing
saw get in
Mirrors
there. Somebody
by
mentioned
Justin
something to
Timberlake.
me, and I got some
Featuring
footage of
solos.
him. A couple picks.
Julia
That's Big
Diaz,
Josh. You know,
Allison
he's
Dan,
one of the great
Jackson
kids.
Gould,
Teammates love
and
him.
Gianna Hernandez.
We love when he's around. So
Pressure
it's important
by
in this kind of
View
situation to get everybody in the ball
Choose
game.
Joy
And,
by Randall
what we were able to do
Stoltz.
there with Big Josh. So.
Featuring
Coach,
soloists.
congratulations
After
on
your
your
chaplain
W. I know
and
you're going to go
Sid
back to
Naif.
work. You're 6-0, though. You got to feel good.
Yes,
What was I made for
Brendan
by
Pacheco,
Billie Eilish.
dominant
Featuring
performance
soloists.
by
Alistair
the
Offset.
Bill. You guys came out
and
here with a
Caleb
plan.
Rickstorff.
Talk to me about what was
And lastly,
the focus,
Choose Joy
because I saw
by
you
Randall
run like I
Standridge.
did a few years
The
back
band would like to
over at
extend a
Montgomery
heartfelt
when you
thank you
came
to
in.
Superintendent
I
of
said,
Schools,
that guy's
Dr.
got some
Pluto,
wheels, too.
Assistant Superintendent of
Earlier this
Schools,
season,
Dr. Tiana
I was dealing with a
Herzog,
hamstring injury.
Supervisor
Now
of
I'm
Music,
fully back,
Art,
and I got to show
World
my
Language,
speech tonight.
and Gifted and
Showed off,
Talented,
I had a
Miss
couple big
Ashley
runs,
J.
a touchdown.
Principal
but
and
all
Borowski,
props to my O-line,
Vice
you know.
Principal Mr.
The
Brian
dogs,
Sight,
they
the
want it all, and
MMEDO,
they showed out tonight.
and all of our
Listen, you get a lot
dedicated
of
parents
weapons out here. There's
and
no doubt about
volunteers,
it. You
the
disperse the
Metuchen
ball
school teachers and
perfectly.
staff,
Sire,
and of course,
Lucy. I
all
mean,
of you for your
so
unwavering
everybody's getting a
support.
piece of the rock.
Sir.
What's the NASCAR offense like?
It's great, you know, having a lot of Division I athletes, a lot of weapons to throw to, and a couple backups. It's great to throw to, you know, with this explosive offense, a lot of play calls, a lot of different formations. It's just, Coach Bloom's play calling is great. And obviously it's finally time to put up points on the scoreboard tonight, and we did it. 41 points in the first half. You know, you can't complain about that.
You're 6-0. Obviously, you have a goal in mind. What is that?
Our goal, well, first, our one goal is to go 1-0 every week, and that's what we've been doing, and we're on to the next week. But our main goal is to win the state championship, Group 3 championship, and that's what we're working to right now. So.
Well, you got a dominant performance. You're number one seed right now in Group 3 South, South section, Central section, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we know where you're at. You just went against a team that was 7 in the North section and totally dismantled them.
Yeah.
What's it going to take for you guys to win that state championship? It's been a while since we've had one here.
Yeah, we're going to have to go play down south where there's a bunch of great teams, but we're just going to obviously take it week by week, watch film. We're just going to be dominant down there too, and play our records hopefully, and be dominant there and win the Group 3 championship. So,
congratulations on the W.
Thank you.
A dominant performance tonight, and by you especially playing both sides of the ball. First of all, from the offensive end, I mean, you guys just came out here, put up 41 points, and it was like, it was like easy. Talk to me about it. Was it that easy?
We prepared really well. Our coaches put us in amazing situations. We knew what we were going to do. We made sure to stay disciplined. The pride of Metuchen. We came out with a lot of energy, a lot of power, and we put on the gas pedal and did not stop.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you ran the ball. You guys threw the ball. Pacheco runs the ball. I mean, your offensive line was outstanding tonight. I mean, you just dominated the line of scrimmage. Talk to me about the guys up front.
All credit goes to them. We go by 3 things. We got to win the line of scrimmage. We got to stay disciplined and make sure that we're all together.
Bro, tell me the truth, man. We different here. Just tell me the truth.
He's not lying. We are different here. But we made sure to stay disciplined up front, with our move calls too on defense also. But all credit goes to my offensive line. They did an outstanding job today.
Talk to me about the defensive side. You had 2 picks today. I mean, you were all over the field.
Right decisions to make the right plays, and I gotta give credit to up front again. They put the pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback had to roll out a couple times, drop back in coverage, and I realized where he was throwing it, and I got all that credit goes to my D-line because they were able to put the pressure on them.
They have a difficult offense. about the shift that was going on, and the linebackers were probably shifting with the line.
Yes, we do that a lot to get teams off guard, and it gets in their head. And a couple times you did see that up front. We did get in their head with a couple false starts, and the move calls, it's just beauty.
You got to be excited about being 6-0. I know the goal here is to get to a state championship, and I've heard it all. It's 1 week, one game at a time. Let's work about 1 week at a time. Congratulations on a great night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
41-0 Somerville over Summit at Brooks Field. We'll have more here at halftime on Central Jersey Sports Radio after this.
The Sportsplex at Metuchen is your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, register your child now at sportsplexatmetuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp offering early drop-off and aftercare. Camps run throughout the summer. There's also open gym on the courts and turf. Just check their Instagram page for dates and times. Visit sportsplexatmetuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
Mike Pavlichville here, Central Jersey Sports Radio at Hillsborough High School. The Raiders defeat Westfield 19-13. Coach, a little nailed bite. It's always some game. Guys on your broadcast were talking about a great game a few years ago. I remember on a cutoff weekend, you guys had a wacky game with them. It's always a good one with Westfield.
Yes, it is. It's a full, and not surprisingly, they're a very good team. So when we run into these guys, it's always going to be hard to any win. Okay, it's going to be hard to have a convincing win against a team like that. They do a great job. They did a great job today cutting down the amount of possessions that we got, and which doesn't work if they don't take advantage of the possessions they got. They got touchdowns in. They did a nice job with that, and they stopped us. They did a couple good things on defense to slow us down, I feel like, early on in the game. And again, later on, I think we got it going a little bit. But they hung on and got another touchdown, and we had to hang in at the end. It was just a gutty win for us. Again, we have a lot of guys stepping up and making plays for us, across the board. Berto Santiago had 2 touchdowns today, which was awesome for us. Yeah. Jackson threw 1, which was great. And, Chimmy making plays all over the place. Ryan Seaman, just clutch plays. In the first half, we couldn't get much going really in the throwing game as much, but in the second half, he made some really big throws. He scored the 2 touchdowns for huge plays.
So that's something, when your teams are the best, it's guys doing stuff that they don't normally do. Something like Jackson throwing a touchdown, you know what I mean? That's kind of what has done it for you guys.
Yes. The versatility of our guys is something that we try to take advantage of. We have some smart guys. We have some guys that have played football all their lives, and so they're good at a lot of the football skills. Yeah. So they can do some different things when they're in some good matchups. I know. Early on, when we try to do a few things, and we give the ball back real quick, and that kind of, got us a little bit behind. But I was very happy with the way the guys stepped up today, and the defense hanging on again. There was they had to play a bunch of defense at the end of this game to get us this win, and they hung on.
You certainly did, and of course you had a penalty, and you had some penalties late. They had some, you guys had some. So, yes. But it still comes down to this defense at the end of the game is going to come up with a big play. You break up a big pass here around the 15-yard line.
Yes, yeah. Khalif made a great play out there. We have some good DBs right now that we can count on to put in some tough situations, and we were consistent, putting a little pressure on them. But Khalif, it's hard at the end of the game when all they got to do is complete one of them on you. They took 4 or 5 shots at the goal line. They only got to get it once, and he held strong. He really did a great job. So I'm really happy.
Coach, Bridgewater Thursday night, you go up there.
It's exciting. All the game right now, we're in a position where every game is critical for us. But there's no scenario when the Bridgewater game is
and this division is nothing.
Yes, and I'd be shocked if we don't have a great game with them. If any of my experience is true, we're going to have a great game against them. They're a good team. They're well coached. They have a good quarterback. We know we got to be ready to go, play those guys. But I like our team, so I feel good against anybody. We just gotta. It might be like this a lot. We just got to figure out a way to just keep on getting some wins. And when we put ourselves in this position, I'd like to have more wins right now, but we don't. But we still can do what we need to do if we just keep getting some wins.
Hillsborough head coach Kevin Carty as the Raiders beat Westfield 19-13. Back with more on Central Jersey Sports Radio after this.
Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope is family owned and operated for more than 60 years and still going strong. Chris Auto Body knows an accident can be a hassle, so they make it their mission to make your repairs as easy as possible. One call, they do it all. Insurance claims, towing, rental cars, valet service, and more. Rent a car on site and then go about your day. Call them at 888-RECT. That's 888-RECT. Or go to chrisautobody.com. That's chrisautobody.com. Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. Hope, they meet people like you by accident.
Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy and Son Paving last night. Edison over number 9 Colonia, 27-21. Post game, presented by Sportsplex in Metuchen with Dom Savino.
Post-game interviews are brought to you by
the Sportsplex at Metuchen, your local indoor sports facility. With leagues and classes, there's also open gym on the courts and turf. Just check their Instagram page for dates and times. Sportsplex at Metuchen.
Plenty of smiles around Edison football tonight. Their statement victory this season, 27-21 over a top 10 Colonia program, and catching up with Edison's head coach, Matt Yasko. Matt, it's back-to-back wins. The run game has really shined. I mean, combined, the wins over Franklin and Colonia, 650 rushing yards. How in the world has your run game gotten this done?
Well, like we talked about during the week, starts up front. The offensive line was terrific tonight, moving people. We were out in Ikea tonight. I had other talented backs, and Lanier, Whetstone, Sean Garland, Ahmad Dudley had a long run for us. So, and then a couple of the run plays with the receivers. But it really starts and ends with the offensive line. I mean, they've really worked hard, and they really got after it again tonight. It was great to see.
Now, you mentioned it. It felt like it was a night where maybe some of the unsung heroes on this team really had their breakouts. Lanier Whetstone, the leader in that department, 151 rushing yards, more yards tonight than he's had all season long. What allowed him to break out beyond just having an opportunity?
And mostly the opportunity. And we knew Lanier was a good back. He gets lots of reps in practice. We've tried to work him into the games, but we've been in tight games. And Nikir is our every down back. But I trusted Lanier tonight, and he really stepped up to the challenge and had a phenomenal football game.
You were able to slow Colonia's high-powered offense, too, and Diedrich Harvey, huge passes defended in the fourth quarter and the game-sealing pick. What allowed him to shine on the defensive end, where he hasn't played as big a role in games past?
Oh, absolutely. Coach Harry, my defensive coordinator this week, he decided to put Diedrich on our number one receiver, and Diedrich did a phenomenal job. I think we gave up one big pass play to him, but he was all over on that night, and then to make the play of the game there in the end zone and get an interception to steal it for us was just phenomenal.
I mean, your run game has taken a lot of the headlines the last two games, and rightfully so, but the defense, especially in the fourth quarter, once it becomes a one-score game, really locked in. What did you see from them on that final defensive drive?
Yeah, effort more than anything. Guys that were selling out every play. I was begging for a pass rush, which we really weren't getting one. But there's going to be a lot of tired and swing guys. I think pretty much everybody who played tonight left the ball on the field, and that's all you can ask for as a coach.
It's funny, we were talking to you during the week. You mentioned you were hoping to get a little bit more out of the pass game, and it was closer to 100 yards for Anthony Calantoni. 5 for 5, too. Every throw he hit on. What did you see from him, and how did that help the run game get established?
So, yeah, basically, teams know now we're a run-first, run-second team, so they start loading the box, and we got to take advantage of it, hit big plays down the field. Robert Roma made a tremendous catch. Darren Tirado made a big catch late in the game there. We still had our little short screen pass and stuff like that, but you got to try to keep defenses honest a little bit, and they were putting 8-9 guys in the box there to stop the run. So when we have an opportunity to take a shot, we're going to take one. And, it's a difference in a game like this. You got to complete them, you got to catch them, and tonight we were able to do that.
What's changed in this Edison program the last couple of weeks that's allowed you to have this sort of breakout run, back-to-back wins now to get back to 3-3 and 500?
Fans, please take out your tickets.
More than anything, I think
the
fact that the kids they didn't give up, they didn't stop, they still took to the coaching. After we had a bad loss there to Saraville, I said to them, I said, listen, you've done it your way, now we're going to try it my way. And I would love to tell you that that's magic coach speak or something like that. But the kids never stop. They never stop coming. They never stop working. They never stop fighting. So that's all you could ask. So, we're getting better and better. We're starting to find our groove. We're getting guys in spots that maybe necessarily weren't in spots early in the season. So that helps. And, hopefully we're playing our best football at the end of the year, and that's kind of what you need to be.
Diedrich Harvey, senior wide receiver and defensive back. Diedrich, it was the plays on defense where you really stood out. Several passes defended in the fourth quarter, the game-sealing pick in the final minute. Walk me through that final play, that pick.
I knew 3 is a good player, and I knew they was always going to try to go to him. My coach gave me a big job to step up and go against him, so I knew how to step up and get the game-winning pick.
Colonia had 5 incomplete passes in the fourth quarter. You were there defensively on all of them, battling step for step with Colonia's top wide receiver. What went into that matchup all night long, especially as the game got down the stretch?
Yeah, like I said, it's a great player. know how to step up, and
this weekend
stepped up and played my game.
You played, I think, even a bigger role on defense today than maybe than in past games.
To highlight
with Nakir Ito out, what went into your mindset, especially on the defensive side of the ball with this one, knowing you're going to be called on even more?
I know Nakir's a big threat on offense and defense, so having him lost is a big thing.
We celebrate
so
our
I had to step
alumni
up, and I had to step up.
faculty.
On offense, you did too. You had 2 touches, 40 yards a pop for 80 yards. What was working so well for you on that side?
The Metuchen High School class of 2024
How about the offense in general? 280 yards on the ground for your group.
A good game. Everybody ran hard and stepped up.
I'm looking to your right, and another one of your upperclassmen, Whetstone, stepped up in a major way as a career game. What did you see from the leading running back today?
I knew Leonard always had it in him. He was waiting for a turn. Now it's his turn.
Edison's won back-to-back games. This is your most impressive victory this season. What's changed with this group this last couple of weeks?
Our mindset, our practice, we're practicing different. Everybody's working harder and getting everybody better at practice.
Deidre, congrats on the win. Thanks for your time. Breakout performance for Edison's junior running back, Lanier Whetstone, making the start tonight in place of Nakir Ito out with injury. And Whetstone stepped up 151 yards on the ground. More rushing yards than you had all season, Lanier. What happened
we
to
honor
you
and remember MHS Hall of Fame accomplished professional
out, so
Colonel
I had to
Theodore
the team needed me to step up, and I feel like
represented by
obviously I could have scored, but we got the win, that's all that matters. It feels good when you win. You feel me? I don't have no complaints as far as that.
Military service and legal
so you mentioned that you knew during the week it was a possibility Nakir might not play. How did your mindset change, if at all, knowing that there was a chance you were going to start tonight?
Ted was remembered by an
I was
MHS
ready.
classmate.
I stepped up. I feel like
a gentleman.
the team believed in me. I believed in them.
All those years.
Rough first quarter, for me at least. I felt like I was off to a slow start, especially after the first drive, 1 3 and out.
Celebrate.
I knew
Dr. Joseph
I had to get rolling.
Auslander.
You mentioned it was a slow start for the group as a whole. Colonial led 14-6 at the end of the first quarter. What changed there in the second period where things really started to take over for Edison?
It was the big plays.
Numerous universities
it was slow.
across the United States
Cedar came out, had a
throughout
big
the
run.
world. His contributions has significantly
momentum. We took momentum.
impacted healthcare for older adults.
You had some major runs after initial contact. How did you do it? Tell me about your style as a running back that allows you to make those sorts of remarkable plays.
Hall of Fame member
Jill
Darcy
I was always taught if you can't make the first man miss, you don't need to be on offense. So
Jill is a committed advocate
always
for animal welfare as executive director
it's your first start of the season. Were you nervous going into
her
this?
efforts in protecting endangered species have made a profound difference in our world, including the support and protection of over 1,300 animals.
Your team's won back-to-back games.
Moonbears,
the run game has been a huge factor. It was almost 400 rushing yards against Franklin, 280 tonight. How have you guys, as a group, been able to get it done on the ground?
It started with the offensive line, man. I have no complaints.
We recognize Hall of Fame member Robert
Donnan
for his humanitarian and service contributions.
I don't have nothing else to say, man. They be getting the job done.
The offensive line getting a major push and pushing Edison back to 500,
3-3.
And they're former a huge part of this victory tonight over Colonia. Lanier, congrats on your performance and thanks for your time.
All right, well, there you have it, Don Savino. And if you're watching on the stream here at Metuchen, you'll see down on the field are the Hall of Fame inductees for this year. And we have some notes on them, so we'll tell you a little bit about who they are, who went in to the Hall of Fame last night. A lifetime recognition recipient, Henry William Bill Blindo, represented by his children here, Kirk, Kip, and Kendall. He taught health and phys ed here, 1954 to 86. Led the boys basketball team to their first championship in 1971, and founded the Basketeers, inspiring young athletes. Retired Colonel Theodore Ted Lorenz with his sister Janet here representing today. Hall of Fame accomplished professional honoree is military and legal expertise. He served in Afghanistan and was on many military missions and remembered by a classmate as a gentleman in the making all those years. Dr. Joseph Auslander, Hall of Fame accomplished professional, a leader in geriatric medicine, over 200 published articles, visiting professor at numerous universities across the U.S., contributing to healthcare gains for older adults, humanitarian and service contributor Jill Darcy Moore, a committed advocate for animal welfare, and executive director of Asia Wild, efforts in protecting endangered species around the world, including over 1,300 animals. Ever heard of a sun bear or a moon bear?
from the class of
Never have, but there you go. So great job there. Hall of Fame member Robert Donnan for his humanitarian and service contributions, a former U.S. Army combat medic who worked with the EMT with Metuchen EMS, a firefighter for 36 years, and a fire company chief in Metuchen, embodying the motto, never forget, everyone goes home. Humanitarian and Service Contributor Hall of Fame member Robert Wetzel, a humanitarian and former prisoner of war during the Gulf War. After his service more than a decade, he became a successful pilot for United Airlines. Melissa Makos, Hall of Fame Spirit recipient. Class of 1994, standout in field hockey, basketball, softball, record breaker in several categories, career leader in strikeouts, victories, and winning percentage in softball. Bulldog Spirit Hall of Fame recipient Kristen Edmonds, class of 05, soccer, basketball, and track. Made waves in women's sports, playing 11 seasons in the National Women's Soccer League, before playing for Tampa Bay Sun Football Club in the SCL Super League. Catherine Glutz, yes, if you know that name, Hall of Fame distinguished faculty member of the district for over 40 years, beloved principal at Edgar Middle School and girls basketball coach, and distinguished faculty member Kenneth Graff, a celebrated boys soccer coach and educator with over 400 wins and 5 sectional championships, and all of them remembered as well. They also are honoring accomplished professional honoree John Bruce Dodds and the family of the late Jack Waldman, who was also a Hall of Fame accomplished professional. Couldn't be here today, but there you go, Bulldog Pride, as they honor those members out on the field. And Dylan Manfrey, the PA announcer here, talks about them. Let's run down some first-half statistics for you for Metuchen in the game. 100, oh no, this goes on this line here, so let me try that one again. 107 yards rushing for the Metuchen Bulldogs, 98 for Evan Toth on 11 carries. A 2-yard touchdown run by Jason Woods. He has 3 carries for 15. Ryan Toth, 2 carries for 0. Passing 3 of 5 for 62 yards. A 42-yarder to Justice Leitner for the second touchdown of the game. Cam Hayes-Dorina, 3 catches for 20 yards. Oh, you totaled them up for me. That would have been easy. For Highland Park, 45 yards on the ground, 35 out of Marco Sansoulis. Holland with 2 carries for 6. Hansoulis had 8 carries. And Qualls with a carry for 4. Passing Hansoulis 3 for 8 for 22 yards. Actually, 5 for 8, I should say. 38-yard catch by 38 yards on 3 catches for Qualls. Matos has a catch for 4. And Stamatos Hansoulis with a catch for 2. And that's where we are here at halftime. Metuchen 113-45 rushing yards for Highland Park. 62 passing for the Bulldogs, 22 for Highland Park. 175 a total offense for the Bulldogs, 67 for Metuchen. Take a break and come back with the second half after this. 13-0 Bulldogs over Highland Park in the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen, they're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, there are multi-sport summer camps run throughout the summer. Register your child now at sportsplex@metuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplex@metuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
When you have a paving job, large or small, call Bellamy & Son Paving for a job done right. Residential or commercial, they do driveways, parking lots, plus excavation, prep work, and stone paving. Bellamy & Son will provide you with a free estimate, and they're fully insured. Call them at 732-968-5999. That's 732-968-5999. Or visit BellamyandSonPaving.net. Bellamy & Son Paving, proud sponsor of the Big Central Player of the Week. Look for it every week on CJSportsRadio.com. Bellamy & Son Paving, a founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio. Attention quarterbacks, do you want to improve your game? Need to work on footwork, mechanics, or decision making? Enroll with Matt Bastardi at the Elite QB Football Training Academy. Matt has either played quarterback or coached them for over 4 decades. Matt has worked with some of New Jersey's finest quarterbacks over the years, including many playing in the Big Central Conference this year. Find out more by visiting EliteQB.com. That's EliteQB.com. Weekly training camps begin in January. Enroll now at EliteQB.com.
Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope is family owned and operated for more than 60 years and still going strong. Chris Auto Body knows an accident can be a hassle, so they make it their mission to make your repairs as easy as possible. One call, they do it all. Insurance claims, towing, rental cars, valet service, and more. Rent a car on site and then go about your day. Call them at 888-RECT. That's 888-RECT. Or go to chrisautobody.com. That's chrisautobody.com. Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. They meet people like you by accident.
Mike Pavlichko and Chris Sakonis back with you at Metuchen. We got about 90 seconds to go before we hit 0 on the clock from the warm-up, and we'll start the second half. Metuchen with a 13-0 lead over Highland Park. Chris, Metuchen Bulldogs will get the ball here to start. Obviously, Highland Park needs a big stop, but what do they got to do on offense here to kind of get things going? As we talked about in the yardage totals, just 67 yards of offense in the first half, 45 on the ground, and 22 through the air.
And I think those numbers are a little bit misleading in the fact that for much of this game, definitely through the first quarter, even beginning of the second, it was Highland Park that was moving the ball better, but Metuchen had that bend but don't break mantra where once it got inside the 30, Metuchen did a good job clamping down, limiting the run game, forcing them to go through the air, and so far the passing game not really in rhythm for Highland Park. So I think for Highland Park, if you can get back to what was working for you to get in near the red zone, and then the key will just be on 3rd and 4th down, being able to convert, make those impact plays. I really think that's going to be the difference here. And if you're Highland Park, I feel like that is likely going to be the emphasis coming out of this half.
A few other games going on today. See if we can get some scores for you a little bit later on. Was a 1 o'clock start. Belvedere at Dayton. Roselle at Hillside got started at 2, as did Montgomery at Linden. Johnson at Governor Livingston. 2:30 start right about now. Number 7 Old Bridge is up in Morristown for a non-conference game. Watchung Hills at South Brunswick at 3. Marcus Borden will be there. We'll have post-game reaction presented by Sportsplex at Metuchen later on this evening from that. And a 4:30 start, East Brunswick at Hunterdon Central. This one was originally a 2 o'clock start, got moved up to 1. But as we get set to start the second half, 13-0 Bulldogs over Highland Park. 88th meeting. Owls lead it all time, 61-25 with 1 tie to call the second half. The man seated to my right, Chris Sakonis.
All right, thanks, Mike. As it will be Highland Park trailing 13-0 as we start this third quarter. And it will be Marcos Hansulis, the quarterback, kicking off here. And the ball is at the 40-yard line in between the 2 hash marks. 2 players back to return. Justice Leitner on the left-hand side, as that's a end-over-end kick that is fielded inside the 10, running across the middle of the hash marks at the 15, bursting outside to the 20, gets all the way out to the 30, pushed out around the 32-yard line, and that was Matthew Jelemy, the wide receiver, on the return there. He was one of 2 return men out there, and it'll be decent field position for Metuchen to start this 1st and 10. The ball will be spotted at their own 34-yard line. Check that, it's the 33. And Metuchen back-to-back touchdowns on the last 2 drives of the first half. They get the ball to start the second half, up 13-0. Clock is running here. We've got 30 seconds already off it, 11:27 and counting. 1st and 10 Bulldogs at their own 33-yard line. It's Ryan Toth under center. Takes a snap. And that's going to be a handoff, and running absolutely nowhere. Just got rolled over was Evan Toth as he was knocked back a few yards. We'll see where exactly they spot it. And it's going to be spotted at the 30-yard line, rather, so it'll be a loss of 3. And it was Evan Toth who's run the ball very effectively, almost got over 100 yards in the first half, Mike. But Highland Park wise to it there, and it'll be 2nd and 13 coming up. $10:39 and counting to go in this third quarter. Touching with the ball, 2nd and 13 from their own 30-yard line. It's Toth under center. Takes a snap. He's going to throw it left for Leitner. Catches in the flat at the 30. Cuts inside to the 35 and gets forward to the 37-yard line before he's brought down by a pair of tacklers.
Justice Leitner.
And one of them was Stamatis Hansoulis, the junior quarterback for Highland Park. And that'll be a pickup of 10. So, or check that. It'll be a pickup of about 7. 3rd and 7 coming up for Metuchen, up 13-0. Just under 10 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Ball is at the 37-yard line of the Bulldogs. Metuchen breaks huddle. 2 receivers to the right-hand side. It's Justice Leitner and Cameron Hayes-Dorina. And it's Toth under center. Takes a snap. He's going to pitch it out wide right to the 35. Gets the edge to the 40. Past the first down marker to the 45. And finally shoved out of bounds at around the 47. Make it the 48. And on that one was Evan Toth on the run. And he picked up
13, Chris. That's 108 yards for him now. And his 3rd 100-yard rushing
First
game
down
this
for
season
Metuchen on the run
in
by
6.
Evan Toth.
And that's on how many carries, Mike?
13.
It's a Kyle Manungai stat line if I've ever seen one. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs out at the 49. And before they even broke huddle, a flag came.
Very interesting. They have too many guys?
As they broke the huddle, I should say.
Substitution?
We'll check.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That was interesting. That was thrown by the referee.
Conduct on Metuchen.
How many referees are there in football? 1.
Yeah.
Only 1 is called the referee. A little trick question, right? But the
me.
referee, the man with the white hat, threw that flag as he was by the huddle. So I don't know what that was about. That's interesting and more than a little bizarre. Huh.
So they'll have to get to the 49 here. 1st and 25 for Metuchen. And off the snap, it is a run going up the middle, out to the left side, getting past the 40, down to the 43-yard line. Jason Woods, the fullback. Took him a little while to find some space, but he ended up bouncing to the outside.
A short run by Metuchen's
about
Jason
10 there.
Woods.
And that'll move the ball out to the 44-yard line. Metuchen's own 44-yard line.
25 on 4 carries for Woods now, who's kind of like that change of pace back a little bit because Toth Evan gets it so much, and you think it's going to him, and then all of a sudden it's going to the fullback.
Jason Woods, 11 carries for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest heading into today was a 42-yard rush. Bulldogs doing a good job chewing off the clock. We've got 8 minutes and counting left to go. Metuchen with the ball, up 13-0 on Highland Park. As we've got a 2nd and 16. Metuchen at their own 44-yard line. It's Toth in the shotgun. Takes the snap. He'll pitch it out to the right-hand side in the flat, getting past the 45, down to the 47. And that was Justice Leitner on the reception there.
That was the same type of play, Chris, as the one where he had the touchdown. He just didn't get to turn it upfield. It was to the other side, to the right. But it's a snap and a quick spin move by the quarterback. He doesn't even move, doesn't drop back. He just kind of spun, feet firmly planted, that time throwing to his right rather than the left, and he gets a few yards on it.
Believe that was Jared Matos on the tackle here. So now it's 3rd and 13. Metuchen with the ball, up 13-0 at their own 47-yard line. It's Toth under center, drops back, and he's going to throw it over the middle, and that one's caught by the tight end down the 40. Cuts inside to the 35, wrapped up and dragged down on that play there. That'll be a first down and change there. And it was the tight end, Dennis Toth, with his first reception of the game.
From Ryan Toth, complete to number 82.
Tackle there from Jacob Kiros. First time that the quarterback, Ryan Toth, linked up with his cousin today. It'll get down to the 32-yard line. So that'll be a pickup of 21.
It's that brother and cousin telepathy that both of these teams have that because you got the 2 Hansoulis brothers and cousin and the 2 Toth brothers and cousins. Nice job on his first target today.
Metuchen now well in Highland Park territory. 1st and 10 at their own, or at the Highland Park 34-yard line. Toth takes a snap. That's going to be a handoff to Evan Toth. Diving forward, breaking through tackles, and gets all the way down to the 23-yard line-ish. Will that move the chains? Yes, it will. And they'll spot that at the 22. So there'll be a pickup of about 12 there for Toth, who continues his strong afternoon running the football. 1st and 10 Metuchen. Ground game really working for the Bulldogs here.
And they've done a good job up front. It's the big guys up front on an offensive line, Chris. They've done a good job of protecting the quarterback. How many times has Toth looked to throw, and he has plenty of time? Marco Sansoulis has not been the beneficiary of that quite yet on the Highland Park side.
Toth in the shotgun, his brother to his right. Takes the snap, drops back. Has time, he's going to loft it down the near sideline, looking for Leitner in double coverage. It's broken up. It was Stamatis Hansoulis in coverage there. One of the two DBs back there. The intended receiver was Justice Leitner. And just not able to connect there. Ended up being thrown into double coverage, but you see the threat there from Leitner running down the left-hand side.
I think he got that a little higher in the air than he wanted to. I believe if you were with New York City FC, that would be what we'd call a 50-50 ball.
It would, and I think it's noteworthy. It's the second time.
But you don't want to get it with your head.
Second time in as many quarters that you've sort of crossed over my multiple employers. All right, 2nd and 10 from the 23 off the snap. It's an end around for Toth. He cuts it back inside. Good job to reverse play there. Out to the 20, Toth running to the 15 before he's tracked down at the 13-yard line. Marcos Hansoulis on the tackle. Toth laying on the ground, seems to be in some duress. And Evan Toth is down, and we'll get an injury timeout as we...
Looks like a right leg, Chris, as he stretches out his left, but the trainer out working on his right leg would be a huge loss, even if he's out for any length of time just in this game.
There's a penalty on the play.
You know, to even lose him for the drive is a big loss. Not because they don't have other players, but, you know, it's just one less option that you have with your offense. And we could perhaps, at least for a brief amount of time, depending on how quickly he may be out, we could see... you know, the depth tested a little bit, and we've talked about that with Highland Park too, just as a matter of kind of, you know, whether they get tired out or not as the game wears on. We did have a little bit of a long halftime, so that might benefit Highland Park a little bit. We were probably close to about 30 minutes, but working on Evan right now, he is kind of laying there with his elbows on the turf and his hands kind of straight up, so he looks like, but he's not going to get up now. He is. On his feet, that's good.
On his feet. Doesn't need any help walking. Still walking a little gingerly as he comes off here. While that was going on, there was a holding penalty against Metuchen. Now it's going to move him back 10. As we get set to resume here, it will be 2nd and 20 from the Highland Park 32-yard line. Metuchen with the ball, 5:15 and counting to go in this third quarter. The Bulldogs have already eaten off more than half of the third quarter on this drive alone.
And Evan Toth walking along the sideline on his own power. A little hobbled, but, you know, they'll put some ice on it. They'll tape it up maybe underneath those pink socks for Breast Cancer Awareness Month all the teams are wearing, and we get going again.
Josiah Bournet in as one of the two tailbacks for Metuchen, and he gets the handoff here on the snap. 2nd and 20, running across to the 25 before he's wrapped up and brought down. So that'll be a pickup of about 7 for Bournet. And that was Costa Hansoulis on the stop. And they're going to spot that at the 24, actually. So a pickup of 8 there on the run for Bournet.
5'8" junior, 145 will try and make an impact here, Chris.
20 carries for 52 yards coming into this. And, well, Evan Toth has gotten the load of the workload here for Metuchen. It's been efficient running from several backs here. Ryan Toth under center. Woods and Bournet in the backfield. It's pitched to Bournet, who tried to reverse it back there. Falling on top of it was Justice Leitner, the intended recipient. They were going for the trick play.
Justice Leitner recovers the fumble.
And Metuchen lucky not to cough up the football there.
But, Chris, when you don't have your regular back in the game, you know, you've got to run that play instead of with your brother, with someone that maybe you've run it with in practice, but, you know, you don't have that same connection that you do. So that's the other part of the loss of Toth, right, at least for however long it's going to be. And it looks like he's probably going to get back in the ball game. They're working on him on the sideline. They're going to toughen that up But now it looks like Metuchen will punt here on a 4th and very long.
4th and 25. Ball is at the Highland Park 34 and comes back. It's an end-over-end punt from Jason Woods that bounces favorably for Metuchen. We'll see where it lands. It's inside the 10. From our vantage point, it looks to be around the 8. We'll see where the official spot is. And that was a Korsakian punt inside the 10. I always love when I get to use his name.
Talk about cross-references.
Yeah, Adam Korsak, legendary Rutgers punter. Originally of Australia, but all things being equal, 13-0 lead here for Metuchen over Highland Park in this rivalry game. Used to be a Thanksgiving rivalry game. No turkey on deck here today, but it's a 13-0 lead for Metuchen. Highland Park with their first offensive snap coming with 3:12 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was a long drive. Took a lot of time, Chris.
Metuchen didn't add to the lead, but chewing off just under 9 minutes of clock. That's going to be a win in terms of trying to close this game out. 1st and 10 for Highland Park, and that's going to be a handoff running to the outside and getting brought down at the 5-yard line there. So it's going to be a loss of about 3 on the carry. And that was Jacob Kiros, the sophomore fullback. 18 carries for 72 yards on the year coming in. And on the first play, already deep in their own territory, Highland Park goes backwards. Ball will be on the left hash at their own 5-yard line. We're under 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. It's a 13-0 lead for Metuchen. Highland Park with the ball. And the Owls trying to get back into this one. No hurry-up look for them just yet. Still more than a quarter to work with. And it's Hansulis in the shotgun with Kiros to his left. Takes a snap in the end zone, and right as he caught the ball off the snap, there was a penalty on a delay of game there. That's going to go against the Owls, and it'll push them back even further. The ball was already at their own 5-yard line.
5-yard penalty.
And it looks like that'll be about half the distance to the goal, so it's going to be from their own 2. So 2nd and 19, Highland Park at their own 2-yard line. Hansulis in the shotgun. Takes a snap, Hansulis drops back, and he's going to launch this one deep. Down the left side, it's intercepted and picked off. Bulldogs come away with it, running down the right sideline to the 25, cutting back inside to the 10, and that's tackled back. The ball came out, and that was a fumble. And after all of that, Highland Park gets it back.
And with about a 12-yard gain.
And they gain 12 yards. Jalen Adams, the wide receiver, after all of that, I have to say, I think that has to be the most chaotic play I've seen calling high school football this whole time. But
wait, are they now saying
calling
Highland Park has it? They're saying, I think Metuchen has it, maybe?
Metuchen, I think they're going to say he was down, yeah.
I'm just laughing because it's just it's like a slapstick farce comedy. You get the pick, and he's trying to get the extra yards, push towards the end zone, and then cough up the football. But they will rule no fumble, it looks like. And I believe it's going to be Metuchen ball here. But now where are they putting it? Because they're moving it away from where he was down.
Well, in any case, I think they're going to say he was down, I guess, a little before the ball came out, because he was running through, Hayes Arena was running through multiple tackles there. It was
possible they might have ruled him down by contact.
That's what I'm saying, is I'm not entirely sure where the whistle was blown. But
well, that's a couple interesting calls we've had in this game, wondering what they are. I mean, hold on a second.
Have they awarded a safety here is what I'm asking, because it looks like.
Can we get a clarification from the officials what the call is here? Because we have our clock operator has a direct headset to the referee, but it looks like it's going to be. I mean, let's see what we're going to get here. It is a safety. How is that a safety?
I guess, are they saying that he was brought down in the end zone before?
He never got to the end zone.
Or did he step out? But here's the thing, he dropped back to pass. Did he step out of the back? Like, did his foot touch the white on the back of the end zone? Because he was pretty deep in the end zone.
Okay, there's where you're a good call there.
So after describing like 37 different things occurring in a 15-second span, I think none of that counted because it was a safety.
So I continue to chuckle because that is the wildest thing I've ever seen. All right, so it's 15-0 Metuchen now.
So I'm only moderately confident in that explanation, but I've ruled out everything else.
That would be the most plausible because,
Oh, so here we got our final explanation from Dylan Manfrey. It was a holding penalty in the end zone. So somewhere there was a flag.
Okay.
So off of the punt there, it's picked up by Hayes Dorino, who's running left, gets past the 40, out to the 35, before Marcos Hansoulis wraps both of his arms around him and drags him down on the sideline at the 34-yard line. You thought for a second Hayes Dorino might be taking that to the house. And after all of that, it is 15-0 Metuchen. For those of you keeping score at home.
I didn't think he was in the end zone, so the holding call, that does make sense.
1:51 left to go in the third quarter. It is 15-0. And to add on top of all that, Metuchen's going to have the ball deep, or fairly deep, at the 33-yard line in Highland Park territory.
I mean, your explanation to me was the most plausible. I just trusted that he might have been in the end zone, but that explanation also makes sense from the officials, at least it should. That is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life.
So it wasn't a Dan Orlovsky after all. Instead, it's going to be Toth under center. 1st and 10 for Metuchen. Off the handoff, running left to the 30. Gets past to the 25, and then diving out near the 15. And that there was Savion Kamano on the stop there. Check that out, it was Jacob Kiros. It
was Kamano with the play from Metuchen.
Yeah, he wrapped it up there. It was Kamano with the play from Metuchen, and then Kiros brought it down. I apologize, a little bit of a mix-up there, but there was a penalty as well.
Run by Savion Kamano.
That was a pass play, right? No,
it was a run.
Okay.
And you'd expect Metuchen to keep it mostly on the ground, as they've already been able to burn off most of the third quarter clock. And on 1st and 10, it's going to be another handoff. Kamano running left-hand side, spinning around, and he was brought down at the 15-yard line on the left sideline there. Jacob Kiros again on the tackle there to wrap him around. And
Evan Toth is still on the bench. That's why we saw Bournet on the last drive. And we're seeing Kamano with a couple of plays here for, a few yards. So they're going to make do. Toth is still sitting on the bench. One of the coaches coming over to talk to him, see how he's doing. He may just need a little bit of time. But also, if you're up to 15-0, you may not need him for a while. Keep him on the bench as much as you can.
2nd and 8 from the 15, and taking the ball, hopping over one to the 5, and getting into the end zone inside the left pylon. Jason Woods, the fullback. There was a flag down.
Bulldogs touchdown.
And that's going to come back. It's a penalty against Metuchen.
Oh, Chris, that's tough.
It was a nice run from Jason Woods.
Touchdown on the play after the flag.
There was a flag, so that's going to take away the touchdown. And the band stopped mid-song. And
hold on. Hold your fire.
And that was on a chop block there, and that moves Metuchen back a ways.
This is looking like an August 29th game, not a October 5th game.
Well, I don't know if it's looking like that. I'll say it feels like it because it's in the mid to upper 70s. It's probably hotter down on the turf.
I'm talking about penalties.
I know. I was going to segue to the weather. It's a nice day. Yeah. It is early October. You wouldn't know it by the weather, though. So after all of that, it's a 2nd and 25 from the Highland Park 30-yard line. Metuchen with the ball up 13-0. That's going to be a handoff. And running up the middle to the 25-ish. And 20 seconds left there. That was Jason Woods again on the carry. So we're down now to 15 seconds left and ticking. And don't think Metuchen's going to run another play. Now we have an injured player down on the field for Highland Park. And we'll get the ID on that in just a second. I can't make out who that is right this second. He's laying on his back.
Official timeout.
He's being looked at there by the training staff. We'll take a break. 9 seconds left to go in this third quarter. It's Metuchen with a 15-0 lead on Highland Park, as we'll be back in a moment on the Big Central Game of the Week presented by Bellamy & Son Paving on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen. They're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, there are multi-sport summer camps run throughout the summer. Register your child now at sportsplex@metuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplex@metuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
If you're looking for branded merchandise, look no further than Jan Promotions. For over 40 years, they've been serving all of New Jersey with thousands of items to suit your needs and your budget. They've got everything from tech items like flash drives to bags, mugs, glasses, and sports bottles. From a 50-cent keychain to a glistening $500 custom award, make Jan Promotions your only source for all your ad specialty needs. They can help your small business or big corporation. Free setup and shipping on a wide range of products. Visit janpromotions.com or call 201-641-2803. That's 201-641-2803. Or online at janpromotions.com.
Jared Manos, the defensive end and tight end for Highland Park, is being helped to the sideline. He's mostly walking on his own power.
At the end of the third quarter,
off to the Highland Park sideline on the far left side of the field. And we're now at the end of the third quarter. The clock ran off, and we will go back to break. So start of the fourth quarter coming up. When we return, Big Central Game of the Week, Metuchen 15, Highland Park nothing on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
When you have a paving job, large or small, call Bellamy & Son Paving for a job done right. Residential or commercial, they do driveways, parking lots, plus excavation, prep work, and stone paving. Bellamy & Son will provide you with a free estimate, and they're fully insured. Call them at 732-968-5999. That's 732-968-5999. Or visit BellamyandSonPaving.net. Bellamy & Son Paving, proud sponsor of the Big Central Player of the Week. Look for it every week on CJSportsRadio.com. Bellamy & Son Paving, a founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Metuchen. The Metuchen Bulldogs hold a 15-0 lead on their rivals, the Highland Park Owls, here on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
We're coming out of the break, and the thing ended. You're talking over it, which is a nice little clean segue. And then I heard music start. I thought I played something by accident. I didn't realize it was the band because they're right in front of us. Listen to that.
Pride of Metuchen.
Village people.
They are right in front of us here. They're right in front of us here on the press box. We're at just about at the 50-yard line to try and set the scene here. So it's going to be 3rd and 18 for Metuchen. Off the snap, it's Toth, who passes in the flat to Hayes Dorina, who gets wrapped up and brought down at the 28-yard line there. And that was Kiros on the tackle, the inside linebacker, leading tackler on the year for Highland Park. So that'll be 4th down here. And looks to be a clear punt situation, and indeed it will be. Or are they going to go? Well, they're at their 27-yard line. They're at the Highland Park 27-yard line, Metuchen. Are they going to punt here? Or are they going to go for it? No, they're going for it. It's 4th and 18, but you are deep in Highland Park territory. And the key here, probably kill some clock off for the Bulldogs. Toth drops back in the shotgun off the snap, and he's going to heave it down the left sideline, and that one looking for Leitner, incomplete. 2 DBs back there in coverage, one of who got their hands on it is down. And trying to see who that is. A little slow to get up there. That was Stamatis Hansoulis. One of 3 Hansoulis players on this Highland Park team, and he's still limping off to the sideline. So he's going to come off to the side. He's also a wide receiver on offense as Highland Park will take over with 11:23 to go in the fourth quarter, trailing 15-0 on Metuchen. Metuchen scored 2 touchdowns to make it 13-0 at the half, and then picked up a safety on a wild sequence that I'm still struggling to explain fully. It was a holding penalty, but everything else happened in between. And after all of it, it's 15-0 Metuchen, and Highland Park needs 2 touchdowns and at least 1 2-point conversion to tie this game. 1st and 10 for Highland Park at their own 32-yard line. Marcos Hansoulis in the shotgun. 2 receivers stacked to the far right side of the field. Hansoulis Hansulis in the shotgun, takes a snap, immediately runs to his right. He's looking. He has multiple tacklers, and he's brought down all the way back at the 10-yard line. Three Metuchen defensive linemen were in his face. Not sure which one got to him first. Looked to be a team effort, but that's going to be a big loss there on first down. And they'll spot the ball at the 11-yard line there. They need to get to the 38 for the first down. So that'll be 2nd and 35, excuse me. And that will be at their own 11-yard line. Highland Park with the ball, trailing 15-0. Hansulis in the shotgun. Has 4 receivers stacked to the right side. Hansulis all alone in the gun. He takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his right. He's looking, and he's going to find a man there on the right-hand side. Caught at the 20, running out of bounds and just past the 25. And that was Kasim Qualls on the catch. And was shoved out of bounds there. And Daniel Ayala. And that's going to be spotted at the 25-yard line. So 3rd and 13. It becomes a bit more manageable there. Gained a lot of the yardage back, Highland Park. And you'd have to think in 4-down territory anyway. Now in the fourth quarter, trailing 15-0. 10:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Highland Park with the ball. Metuchen on top, 15-0. Clock is stopped because he ran out of bounds, and that's a factor down multiple scores. Hansulis in the shotgun. He's got Ziggy Holland to his right and trips to the far right side of the field. Takes a shotgun snap on 3rd and 13. Pressure comes immediately. Hansulis gets away from 2. He's hit as he throws a third. That one fell into the turf there on the left-hand side, nearly picked off by A.J. Chrissy. But it bounced in front of him on the turf. It'll be 4th and 13. We've got an injured, or I thought we've got a Metuchen player slow to get up. That is Kyle Johnston, the starting senior defensive end. And he's now sitting on the turf, so we'll take a look at him. Training staff coming out to take a look with 10:10 to go in the fourth quarter. And Metuchen.
Official timeout.
We'll have an official timeout here for the injury.
By the way, shout out now. He was messaging me. I said, why don't you tune in? I think he might be now. Nick Costco, former WRSU classmate of yours, who I've been on his show a few times. He'd been on mine a few times in the past. And my son, Ryan, who's 11, is apparently a big fan of his podcast. So he'll shout out to me from the other room. Nick Costco just posted. He does a great job with all the stuff on YouTube. But anyway, yeah, so tuning in today. We were talking a little bit. He was asking me about Somerville, which got a big win last night, 41-0 over Summit. They're 6-0 now, and got to be a favorite in Group 3 to win it all this year, perhaps.
Definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. So Johnston went off to the sideline, at least for the moment, and it is 4th and 13. And it's going to be a punt for Highland Park. The quarterback, Marcos Hansulis, on the punt, and that one's fielded at the 35 there by Hayes Arena. Runs across midfield to the 50, gets past another one, has blazing speed past the 40, goes to the right side there at the 30, and that's where he's brought down there. And that was Jared Matos bringing him down there to end the run. A big return. And we've got another Metuchen player down. And that time...
It's not Hayes Dorina, but that was a 30,
Avery Torres, the right tackle.
That was a 35-yard return, Chris.
And Hayes Dorina, well, not on that one, but he's had a good job there of really getting in space. He has that speed. Once he gets into the open field, he just runs past defenders. So starting right tackle Avery Torres, junior for Metuchen, is down on the field. We've got 9:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Metuchen with the ball at a 15-0 lead. And this is going to be a pretty good field position for the Bulldogs after this injury timeout, Mike. And if you're Metuchen, obviously you want to go down and score if you can, but it's almost, you can almost say it's better if you do it in 5 or 6 plays than in 2 plays, because then you eat more clock off, and it becomes less game to manage. So Avery Torres, starting right tackle, is off to the sideline. Kyle Johnston, who was hurt on the previous play, is back out there. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Metuchen. Up 15-0, 9:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Toth under center, takes a snap. He's going to hand it off, and running down the middle to the 36. There was Jason Woods. And that'll be a pickup. Check that to the 26 there, so a pickup of about 5.
6 different backs have gotten touches this afternoon for Metuchen. And so with Toth out of the game, and he's still sitting there, I think Metuchen feels like, look, why chance another injury, re-injuring it, making it worse? You're up 15-0. Let's let him sit on the sideline for a little bit and cool his heels a little bit. He just stood up for the first time since. He'd been elevating his left foot on a Gatorade cooler.
Ryan Toth under center there on 2nd and 5. It's going to be a handoff, running over to the middle. A hard hit there. Looked like it was past the first down marker there. And that time it was Josiah Bournet on the carry. It's enough to move the chain, so another 1st and 10 for Metuchen coming up. And that ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line, so it's a 6-yard pickup for Bournet.
Metuchen after the run by Josiah Bourne.
So now we're down to 9 minutes and counting here for Metuchen, who were able to chew off 9 minutes of play on that first drive. Ended up not scoring on it, but those 2 touchdowns in the second quarter looking like will be the defining moment of this game unless something crazy happens here. 1st and 10 at the 20. It's a handoff from Toth. Toth gives it off to the left-hand side, and running is Bournet out to the left-hand side at the 10. And got a flag there. It's going to be a hold on Metuchen, so that'll bring the play back.
Holding Metuchen. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So that'll be a 5-yard penalty, moving Metuchen back. So make it 1st and 20 rather from the Highland Park 30-yard line. 8:38 to go. And the clock now running again down to 8:34 and counting.
So Metuchen holds on to win this ball game. They will have won 8 of 10 going back to the 4-game winning streak they had at the end of last year. How about that?
1st and 20, Toth on the shotgun snap. He's going to throw it to the left-hand side. And running past the 30 to the 26-yard line there is Justice Leitner.
Pass complete.
Pickup of
from
4.
Ryan Toth to number 1, Justice
and Ryan Toth now.
Leitner.
He was running off to the sideline. Not sure. Was a timeout been called here? I can't tell.
No, there's an injured Metuchen player on the other side of the field.
Is that Leitner? No, it is. Well, that looks to be Landon Perez.
Official
5'11"
timeout.
senior is laying down on the far side, and we'll take a break here. 8:09 to go in the fourth quarter. Metuchen on top of Highland Park, 15-0 on the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen, they're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, their multi-sport summer camp registration will be opening soon. Camps run throughout the summer. Register your child at sportsplexatmetuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplexatmetuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
When you have a paving job, large or small, call Bellamy & Son Paving for a job done right. Residential or commercial, they do driveways, parking lots, plus excavation, prep work, and stone paving. Bellamy & Son will provide you with a free estimate, and they're fully insured. Call them at 732-968-5999. That's 732-968-5999. Or visit BellamyandSonPaving.net. Bellamy & Son Paving, proud sponsor of the Big Central Player of the Week. Look for it every week on CJSportsRadio.com. Bellamy & Son Paving, a founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope is family owned and operated for more than 60 years and still going strong. Chris Auto Body knows an accident can be a hassle, so they make it their mission to make your repairs as easy as possible. One call, they do it all. Insurance claims, towing, rental cars, valet service, and more. Rent a car on site and then go about your day. Call them at 888-RECT. That's 888-RECT. Or go to chrisautobody.com. That's chrisautobody.com. Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. They meet people like you by accident.
Back here in Metuchen, 15-0 lead for Metuchen on Highland Park. We had an injury stoppage a moment ago. Landon Perez, the backup center, is currently limping off the field. He can't put any weight on that right leg, and he's got two of his teammates out helping him across the field as he works his way to the Metuchen sideline on the near side. So, best wishes for him as we get set to resume here. 8:09 left to go in the fourth quarter, and it's Metuchen with the ball, 2nd and 18. And the ball is at the 27-yard line of Highland Park. Toth is under center. He's got two tailbacks. Justice Leitner is on the left-hand side as a lone receiver. Takes the snap, and he is going to pitch it to the outside. Running past the 20, down the 10, gets to the 5, inside the pylon, in for the touchdown, but there's a flag back in the backfield. This might be coming back for Metuchen, and looks like it is. And that was Savion Kamano.
It's the second or third touchdown they've had called back now, Chris. Is that second? No, the first one was the penalty, but it was after the play, and they counted it. Remember on that
was on the extra point.
Yeah. So they've had 2 touchdowns called back. And how many drives have been stalled by penalties, too?
And that was a 10-yard penalty on the hold, so that'll, in addition to everything else, move it back to a 2nd and 20. The ball is at the 37-yard line of Highland Park. Metuchen with the ball, and we've got 7:52 in the fourth quarter. Cameron Hayes-Dorina is the lone receiver to the left side. Justice Leitner, the near right side receiver. Toth under center, takes a snap, drops back. He's hit as he throws, and he finds Hayes-Dorina in the 20. Gets past the defensive back to the 10, 5, touchdown. Cameron Hayes-Dorina on the reception.
Pass complete.
He went by Kasim Qualls after he caught that ball, and I think Qualls thought either there was a flag or he was down or the play was dead because he froze and went right around him. Oddest thing I've ever seen. It almost looks like he thought the play. It looked like he thought the play maybe was dead somehow.
I was going to say, usually in those types of plays, it ends up being a foot race to the end zone, but he wasn't moving.
They had a defender right there, and he just froze him in his tracks. And I don't know if that was just a great move by Hayes-Dorina. Sean Harrison's trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe he thought he heard a whistle.
And it's the 21-0 lead for Metuchen. As things stand, waiting the extra point, there appears to be some sort of stoppage. The referee, I should say, is talking to Highland Park head coach Sean Harrison
shouting
on the far
for
side.
10 yards away. He could have walked over the extra 10, 20 feet. Unsportsmanlike against Metuchen. Now, I don't know what this is for. I do know that Kamano kind of high-stepped it the last couple of yards into the end zone. So it looks like this might be then assessed on the kickoff if that penalty's against Metuchen because they're going from normal distance for the PAT.
Jason Woods on now to attempt the extra point, or they changed the scoreboard back down to 15. So did they? Hang on a second here. Where
the stoppage and they're pointing toward Highland Park. They did throw a flag, right?
I didn't see a flag, but there was a stoppage.
Well, the near side official did throw it. He put a yellow flag back in his pocket. Not sure what's going on here. But they didn't move the ball, so...
Yeah, the ball is there as if it were a normal extra point.
Put the 21 up on the scoreboard.
So back up to 21, so it's a 21-0 lead for Metuchen as Jason Woods is here for the extra point attempt. Richie Brock, the holder. It's a good snap, clean hold, and the kick is through the uprights and good. 22-0 Metuchen lead. With 7:42 to go in the fourth quarter. You'll see Big Central Game of the Week on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Metuchen leads 22-0.
Improve your game? Need to work on footwork, mechanics, mechanics or decision-making? Enroll with Matt Bastardi at the Elite QB Football Training Academy. Matt has either played quarterback or coached them for over 4 decades. Matt has worked with some of New Jersey's finest quarterbacks over the years, including many playing in the Big Central Conference this year. Find out more by visiting EliteQB.com. That's EliteQB.com. Weekly training camps begin in January. Enroll now at EliteQB.com.
7:42 to go in this fourth quarter. It was a 37-yard touchdown run, or touchdown catch, I should say, for Cameron Hayes-Dorino, wide receiver. And that made it 22-0 Metuchen here, under 8 minutes ago in the fourth quarter, as we get set for the kickoff here. Big Central Game of the Week presented by Bellamy & Son Paving. Alongside Mike Pavlichko, I'm Chris Akonis. And it will be Jason Woods here to kick off for Metuchen.
One of those weird cases where the penalty makes the drive actually shorter than the touchdown play. Or just, about they got it at the 31-yard line, but it was 37-yard pass play.
And that one is going to be fielded and taken back across. Ziggy Highland running to the outside to the 40. Gets to the 45, past the 50. Flags come in. Still running down the right sideline, 30. Highland to the 20. Cuts back inside. 10, 5, touchdown. There was a flag thrown back at the 50. I do not know if this is going to count.
I think it won't.
They're still celebrating in the end zone, but I think this one's coming back, just going off the body language.
Because there's a Highland Park.
It's going to be a holding call against Highland Park. That's going to wipe out the touchdown return, and that's a gut punch for the Owls.
Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off, but there was
Highland Park.
There was a couple of Highland Park players who were looking at each other saying, I can't believe I did that, or we did that, or whatever. And a little frustration now for Highland Park. But listen, they're going to be 3-2 if they don't come back and win this game. But, they know what it takes to win. And right now, today, Metuchen is the better team. They've gotten great line play up front, Chris. And they've gotten nice fill-in play from the other backs with Toth out of the game. And then from starters like Cam Hayes-Dorino with a great catch there. So we've had a little bit of run. We've had a little bit of pass. We've had a safety on a holding penalty in the end zone. I mean, we've had, if you like a little bit of everything, this is your game. We've had it all.
So after all of that, it's going to be a first and 10 for Highland Park.
39-yard
first and 10 at their own 39-yard line. It's Hansulis in the shotgun. Holland to his right as lone tailback. 3 receivers to the right side. Takes a snap. Hansulis drops back 3 steps, throws over the middle, and that one went over its intended receiver, but it was caught by Kasim Qualls at the 45-yard line. And that one will move the ball right in to Metuchen territory. Pickup of 16. Qualls was not the intended receiver. Went over the intended receiver.
It was Matos off his fingertip. I think it got off his fingertips. I believe it was Matos, no?
Yeah, it was Jared Matos who, if this were hockey or soccer, maybe you give him the second assist there. I don't know, but football doesn't work that way.
But now you're going to see Hansulis go through the air a little more here. So this is going to be fun to watch if Highland Park can mount a comeback.
Shotgun look for Hansulis. First and 10 at the Metuchen 45. And that's going to be a pitch outside for Holland, running right back to the line of scrimmage, where he gets headbutted out of bounds just past the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up a yard there, was Holland. On the throw into the flat from Hansulis. So they do give him... They give him just under a yard there. So 2nd and 9 coming up. The ball is at the 44-yard line of Metuchen. Highland Park with the ball, trailing 22-0, 6:22 and counting to go in this fourth quarter.
And don't forget, we'll have post-game reaction presented by the Sportsplex at Metuchen of this game, and also later, Watchung Hill, South Brunswick. That game up in the hills, and Marcus Borden is there.
Hansulis in the shotgun on 2nd and 9 from the Metuchen 44-yard line. Highland Park with the ball. Hansulis takes a snap, drops 3, under pressure, hit as he throws, and that one falls short. It was actually in the hands there of Kasim Qualls. It bobbled in front of him. He reached out in front to grab it, and not able to haul it in there, so it's incomplete, 3rd and 9.
Chris, how many passes have we seen go off of fingertips, just been missed by Highland Park, or just the throw just a little too short? Owls today just right now aren't clicking on all cylinders, and they've done it before. this has just not been their afternoon.
And you saw they were the better team moving the ball for much of the first half, just couldn't punch it into the end zone.
Both hurt by a lot of penalties.
That too. So 3rd and 9 for Highland Park. Ball's at the 44-yard line. Hansulis in the shotgun. 3 receivers, a spread to the near left side. And Ziggy Holland, the running back to his left. Hansulis drops back. He rolls out to the left, trying to evade the pressure, and he's wrapped up and brought down on the sack there. Kyle Johnston, the edge rusher, got to him.
Metuchen Bulldogs.
So Metuchen wins on the pressure there.
57.
And that's going to make it 4th down, back in Highland Park territory at their own 43-yard line.
And it'll take a hit on Hansulis' running numbers, who had been at 35 before that, now down to 22. As we get do we have an injured player, or we just have a regular timeout? And we've had so many players go down. Highland Park calls a timeout. Keep it right here. So next week, Thursday, is Summit at Bernard. Should be a very good game. Summit just took their first loss. Bernard still undefeated. We've got kind of an elite forming a little bit in the Big Central Conference. Somerville has looked very good. They're 6-0, high-octane offense. Woodbridge getting contributions from just about everybody. And interestingly, last night, it wasn't necessarily Brian Anderson or Derek Anderson. Rather, it was Shamar Wells, a senior, who had 2 carries on the year, a yard each coming into the game, and last night carried for 167 yards and 3 touchdowns of 323 and 43 yards. So they're doing well. And, of course, St. Thomas Aquinas, without Chase Young, going to overtime against the Paladins, a Paramus Catholic, up on the road. And went to overtime. PC scored. So did Aquinas. They went for 2 to win it and did not get it. Pass was broken up in the end zone. Xavier Williams coming up with the big breakup for PC. It's now big 4th down here coming up, Chris.
4th and 27. Looks like it's just going to be a punt from Hansulis. It's a running punt. That one's high. It pops up inside the 40 where it is grabbed by Kasim Qualls at around the 38-yard line. And that is where Metuchen will start their next drive. And for Metuchen, I think the goal at this point is probably just going to be to run the clock off.
So I doubt that was intentional, but the sun out here has always been very stark. I almost wonder if that was a kick straight up in the air just to kind of try to blind Metuchen a little bit and hope maybe it bounces off a player and you recover. It's almost like an onside kick, but a high kick. Again, I don't know if that was intended, but might have been the result of that. And they almost dropped it, too. Had to keep an eye out on that one.
Bulldog offense will have it. 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Metuchen with the ball leading 22-0. Ryan Toth under center takes a snap. And that's going to be a handoff. Sidestepping outside to the right. At the 40, gets the edge to the 50. Cross midfield. And down the right sideline, running to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown inside the right pylon. A touchdown for Metuchen to add to the lead. Josiah Bournet. And that's 63 yards to make it 27-0. 28-0 pending the extra point.
Nice run by Bournet, finding some space, getting through the defense, and then it was all a foot race to the pile, and he's getting held up by Ryan Toth on the sideline, who just grabbed him and picked him up and lifted him feet off the turf.
28-0. Now Jason Woods on to kick the extra point. Long snapper Cameron Hayes-Dorina. And that kick is through the uprights and good. Bounces off the track and up to the construction equipment on the far right side. 5:12 to go in the 4th quarter. It's a 29-0 lead for Metuchen over Highland Park. And it looks like the Bulldogs are well on their way to clinching this rivalry win. Back in a moment with more on the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sports Bar at Metuchen, they're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, their multi-sport summer camps run throughout the summer. Register your child now at sportsplex@metuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplex@metuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
29-0 lead
want my
for
scoring
Metuchen.
summary?
29-0 lead here for Metuchen. I was going to
That was an
read
easy
off
drive
the drive
chart.
chart. Yeah, it was a one play for 18 yards, 18 seconds, 63 yards. That was a 63-yard touchdown run for Josiah Bournet, who has seen some added work here as the running back here for Metuchen after Evan Toth, who had a pretty good day running the football, went to the sideline with an injury. He's walking on his own power on the side. And that one is going to be a kickoff that bounces inside the 5, where it is grabbed, bobbled by Ziggy Highland. Did he step out of bounds? They say no. I thought he might have, but he runs around to the right-hand side, gets the edge, gets down to the 25, gets to the 30 before he is shoved out of bounds there. And was shoved out of bounds right around the 30-yard line, and that was Mateo Tan on the play there to shove him out because he had the speed. He'd gone around a good chunk of the defense, and there was a chance that he was going to break out and really make a run for the house there, Mike.
There was indeed. Well, Chris, you're going to have the post-game reaction from this one after the game. Marcus Borden will have from South Brunswick, Watchung Hills, with the Warriors leading the Vikings 6-0. There's a couple of warlike teams there, Warriors and Vikings. Oh, and also, see, happy we have white and maroon, blue and white here, because there they have brown and gold and white and brown and black and gold. So
it's like when Rutgers plays like half the Big Ten and they all wear red and white.
Nebraska, Wisconsin, Indiana.
Ohio State even has scarlet.
Ohio State.
1st and 10, Hansulis back to throw, and he is spinning away from 2, but not ultimately able to get there. And on the stop there, wrapping around, was Avery Torres, who looks to be back into the game here. Good job there to wrap around the ankles. Got it back to the line of scrimmage, though. So it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for Highland Park with the ball trailing 28-0 with 4:35 to go. And the clock continues to move. And
so does the press box.
The press box has been vibrating on and off for the entire game. You can actually see I have a water bottle off to my right. You can see the water just sort of moving around.
Now, I don't know a lot about architecture.
I also do not, but it's going to be a 2nd and 10. Hansulis dropping back with the shotgun snap. That one is low and incomplete. He was trying to hit Qualls in the middle on a crossing route.
But, you know, when they tell you when you go to the Washington Monument and you're about to go up or you're looking at it, they tell you you'll see it swaying a little bit, but it's got to have some give. Like when they build an earthquake, it's like how your car has a crumple zone to prevent you from getting hurt. It's got to give or else it's going to snap. If there's no give, boom. If there's a little give, then it can go. So you got to have a little flexibility. So we're okay with it. We're okay with it bouncing. It's all good. Hey, if anything, it's to the music. You get to kind of get into the band a little bit. It's an experience for all your senses, is what it is, really.
29-0 lead for Metuchen.
How about that spin?
Yeah. 4:11 to go in this fourth quarter. Incomplete pass, stop the clock. And it'll be 3rd and 10 coming up from the 28-yard line, their own. Hansulis in the shotgun, takes a snap, immediately rolls to his right, and he's going to hit Qualls at the 30, just past the line of scrimmage, gets past one tackle. No, he doesn't. He's wrapped up at the ankles there. And a couple players in there to make the stop. And in any case, it's going to be 4th and 6. As that one gets out to the 32-yard line.
At this point, you're going for it, right? So this is, even though you're almost back in the other red zone, this is 4-down territory for the Owls. Trying to put some points on the board and maybe spoil the shutout for the Bulldogs here. Down 29-0.
And the clock continues to tick. Now down to under 3.5 to play in the fourth quarter. It's a 29-0 lead for Metuchen. Highland Park with the ball. 4th and 7 coming up. Highland Park at their own 32-yard line. Actually, Hansulis looks like he's actually dropping back to punt. He's about 10 yards off from the line of scrimmage. And indeed, that's what he's going to do. Takes a snap. It's a flying kick at the 40-yard line. That's grabbed. Hayes Arena tried to break free at the 44, and he's brought down and dragged down there. There was a flag on the play. Jalen Adams, the one to bring him down there. And we'll wait on the flag.
Returned by number 18, Cameron Hayes Arena.
So Hayes Arena was on the return there. In any case, it's going to be spotted at their own 44-yard line. That's where Metuchen will have it 1st and 10 with 3:02 left to go. And
chop block.
That was on.
Blocking below the waist.
15-yard penalty on the low block. So that's going
below the waist on Metuchen.
Move things back. So it's actually going to be
penalty.
15-yarder. So that's going to be at the 29, if my mental math is correct, which is a tenuous proposition. But this time it is.
I think football. I mean, I don't know cricket, but I think football's got to have probably the most rules of any sport. Would you say?
I would say, I don't know about hard rules,
just
but
like unique
the
rules,
idiosyncrasies.
Penalties,
yeah, there is.
But you know everything. Spot, foul. I mean, baseball's a pretty simple game.
Baseball's a simple game
Basketball
with a lot of statistics. Football's a complicated game with simple statistics. How about that for a quote in the fourth quarter of this one? 1st and 10, Toth hands it off. And running up the middle to the 35 before he's finally brought down. And that time it was Savion Kamano
on the run for the Bulldogs.
Senior on the run here. Running back Evan Toth did not come back into the game, and at this point don't think he will. He's walking on his own power on the sideline, but
Senior on the run sounds like a Wings song. Band on the run?
Well, yeah, but the band here is not on the run. It's right below us here at the press box.
This is band on the shake.
2nd and 5, Metuchen at their own 35-yard line. Toth under center. Takes a snap, and this is going to be a handoff. Running up the middle to the 45, diving forward to the 46. And that time,
Rocky Bhatia, one of the backups, not on the too deep.
Not on the depth chart, so now you're starting to see some more backups come in. We'll see a couple more substitutions. Cole Liebfried and Gio Tan both coming in, while Avery Torres, starting defensive end and center, coming off. It is 1st and 10 for Metuchen at their own 46-yard line. Toth starting quarterback still in. He is going to hand it off. And that's going to be a run to the outside or wrapped around just shy of the line of scrimmage at the 45. And that was Cole Liebfried on the carry. It's a loss of 1 to the outside. And 2nd and 11 coming up. Down to a minute and a half. Clock's just going to keep running at this point as Metuchen leads 29-0. Barring anything particularly wacky taking place, that's likely to be our final score line. Ryan Toth coming back out here, the quarterback. Minute 19 and counting. Probably only going to run 1 or 2 more plays.
8 different backs have run the ball, including the quarterback for Metuchen. 8 different players have run the ball. 6, 7 different running backs.
Liebfried and Bhatia, the 2 running backs here for Toth. There's 1 receiver, Tan, to the near right side, 1 to the far side. Takes the snap. It's a handoff for Bhatia, running left to the 47, powering through to the 50 before he's finally brought down by a flock of owls.
Short run.
I'm sorry, I had to get a pun in there at some point. Not now, when? Rocky Bhatia with a nice 4-yard
got 42
pickup.
seconds left. You better get all those puns in now, my friend. I
Yeah.
like that. A flock of... It's too bad we don't have a... So now if it was Point Beach, could we say it was a flock of seagulls?
You could do that. What if there were a Metuchen...
Got to laugh from Dylan.
If Metuchen
when you
had...
get the PA man chuckle, it's a good line.
If you had a Metuchen fumble recovery, I could have said the Bulldogs get their paws on it.
Ooh, this is only my B material. But I did get in Greek tragedy, so that worked out well, too.
All right, and that's going to be a knee from Toth, so that's going to do it here. 8 seconds and counting. Metuchen will maintain the bragging rights in this one. In the 88th meeting between Metuchen and Highland Park, the Bulldogs come away with a 29-0 win
Your final
here
score,
on a Saturday afternoon in Metuchen.
Highland Park 0.
Bulldogs improve to 4-2 on the season, and Highland Park will fall to 3-2.
And they have now won 8 of their last 10 games. Best stretch since they won 8 of 10. If you want to include the first one being a loss, spanning from the last couple of games of 2013 to the first few of 2014. So Metuchen was the better team today. Both teams you know from watching, much improved. Post-game reaction coming up later from Chris Sakonis down on the field. You can find that on cjsportsradio.com, presented by the Sportsplex in Metuchen. Back to wrap it up after this. 29-0. Bulldogs beat Highland Park in the 88th annual meeting on Central Jersey Sports Radio.
At the Sportsplex at Metuchen. They're your local indoor sports facility, catering to all ages for an immersive sporting experience. Whether it's leagues and classes or birthday parties and camps, their multi-sport summer camp registration will be opening soon. Camps run throughout the summer. Register your child at sportsplex@metuchen.com for a safe and fun-filled sports camp, offering early drop-off and aftercare. Visit sportsplex@metuchen.com or call 732-494-3000 for the Sportsplex at Metuchen.
When you have a paving job, large or small, call Bellamy & Son Paving for a job done right. Residential or commercial, they do driveways, parking lots, plus excavation, prep work, and stone paving. Bellamy & Son will provide you with a free estimate, and they're fully insured. Call them at 732-968-5999. That's 732-968-5999. Or visit BellamyandSonPaving.net. Bellamy & Son Paving, proud sponsor of the Big Central Player of the Week. Look for it every week on cjsportsradio.com. Bellamy & Son Paving, a founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio.
Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope is family owned and operated for more than 60 years and still going strong. Chris Auto Body knows an accident can be a hassle, so they make it their mission to make your repairs as easy as possible. One call, they do it all. Insurance claims, towing, rental cars, valet service, and more. Rent a car on site and then go about your day. Call them at 888-RECT. That's 888-RECT. Or go to chrisautobody.com. That's chrisautobody.com. Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. They meet people like you by accident.
Today's game has been brought to you in part by What's the Scoop in Metuchen for almost 25 years. What's the Scoop has been serving the people and families of Metuchen with homemade ice cream crafted from the finest ingredients. They're at 475A Main Street, right at the center of downtown Metuchen. What's the Scoop is the go-to spot for locals after school or after the game with 72 flavors to choose from. You'd have to go every day for more than 2 months to try them all. What's the Scoop at 475A Main Street in downtown Metuchen, proud supporter of Metuchen Bulldogs Athletics. And we want to thank them for being a part of this broadcast here today as Metuchen wins it 29-0. They now narrow the series lead after 88 meetings to 61-26 with one tie that was a scoreless game in 1939. In the ball game today, Metuchen with 279 yards of total offense, 192 on the ground, 87 through the air for Ryan Toth, who in the game was 8 of 12 passing unofficially, a 42-yard touchdown to Justice Leitner. That came in the first half. That was the second touchdown. All they needed was one, though, because they got a shutout. It was a 2-yard run by Jason Woods that got the scoring going. 4:38 to go in quarter number 2, though. It was a scoreless first quarter, tight defensively. I think Highland Park just ran out of gas a little bit. Evan Toth with 129 yards on 15 carries. And Toth, who got injured in the game, will try and get an update from Coach Jordan Leitner with Chris Sakonis down on the field to talk to him after the game and have that in our post-game reaction. But he came out with some sort of lower leg injury. He did wind up walking off under his own power. He did come to the bench. He was sitting there. But to be honest about it, even if he could have come back in the game, he probably was not needed. And that was because they got good support from guys like Josiah Bournet, who had a touchdown run, 63 yards. They also got a safety. And then Cam Hayes-Dorina with a 37-yard touchdown catch was also a big one. 279 yards of total offense. They held Highland Park to 98 unofficially, 29 on the ground, 69 through the air, frustrating the Hansulas clan all afternoon. So Metuchen improves to 4-2 on the year. They snap a 2-game losing streak. Losses to New Providence and Johnson. They beat the Owls and now go next week to J.P. Stevens on Thursday night. We'll be up in Bernardsville as Bernards takes on Summit at 7 o'clock on Thursday night. The Jewish holiday Yom Kippur, sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. Highland Park drops to 3-2. They drop their second straight, just like Metuchen had before winning today. Next week, they will be at Roselle Park. Then they'll close it out at home against Manville and another home game against South River in the Freedom Gold Division. So, again, next Thursday, we'll be up in Bernards as the Mountaineers take on Summit. If we will have another game next week, we'll let you know. Follow us on Twitter at cjsportsradio.com. South Brunswick and Watchung Hills playing right now. Marcus Borden is there, and it was 6-0 Watchung Hills after 1. It is still 6-0. They are in the second quarter now with about 5.5 minutes to go, and we'll have post-game reaction from that as well coming up later on at cjsportsradio.com. Thanks to all our sponsors, including What's the Scoop Ice Cream Shop in downtown Metuchen with over 72 flavors of homemade ice cream with the freshest ingredients. Elite QB Football Training Academy, full-service training and development for quarterbacks at all levels. Sportsplex in Metuchen for an immersive sporting experience. Chris Auto Body in Lambertville and New Hope. They meet people like you by accident. Jan Promotions, official outfitter of Central Jersey Sports Radio. And Bellamy & Son Paving for all your paving, landscaping, and excavation needs. A founding sponsor of Central Jersey Sports Radio. For Chris Sakonis, Mike Pavlichko saying so long on a beautiful Saturday from Metuchen, where the Bulldogs defeat Highland Park in their big annual rivalry game, 29-0. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon, everybody.
This has been the Big Central Game of the Week, presented by Bellamy & Son Paving on Central Jersey Sports Radio. Visit our website at cjsportsradio.com for all the latest news, analysis, and interviews. Check out our top 10 every Monday morning throughout the season. And don't forget to follow us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. This is Central Jersey Sports Radio, online at cjsportsradio.com.
Chris, did you get coach?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I got. Yeah, I'm coming out now. I can just turn it off, right?
If you go up to turn it off, and the screen will turn white, and then or up to stop recording, up to stop recording, down to turn it off when you're done.
He's going to right now.
All right, recording stopped. It's just we need it on for we just finish this water real quick. Yeah, take your time. Take your time here a little bit. This would be a short story, though, I think. Oh, right, yeah, okay. Okay.
I got a couple of them
Yeah, send me what you got. Let me just write this so I can get it moving here.
You mind if I start just unplugging stuff?
What I usually do is I kind of go one by one, like you your headset and put it in the bag. Then you know what I mean. And you're good. Then you do the headphone thing. And do the one. The bag's back there. Just grab that.
Yep.
Um,
I'll take my Dom headset and I wonder if Tom used the Dom headset this time around.
no, there isn't more now. It's a
That's right. It's just
HP2. I put the stickers on the side so you know which one's it. And then mine's red.
all right. Yes. Not that.
Was Evan the MVP or something? I saw he had like a
He had
thing
the
there.
trophy. I don't know if you gave
Oh, okay. I don't know if they picked one. Yeah, that's mine. So I leave the one headphone cord in there because
You know that.
yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Nice job. Yeah, we're just writing. Do you mind? Or is that
No.
you need to clear out fast? Will there be one gate? Will there be a gate that's particularly open for us? Or not?
Sorry?
Will there be a gate open to get the car out? Or will there be either that one or that one? That
Well,
one.
that was always.
I can get out by there.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's the way I got in. So just don't take my modem out.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna touch it anyway. That's usually the last thing because it's pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And old penalty on the quarterback 20 yards away from doing this.
That
I mean, come on.
that interception and then that fumble and then if we were trying to figure out how it was a safety. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, maybe he stepped in the end zone. I was like, no, it was a penalty. I was like, oh my
That's
God.
why I called up here to let him know.
Yeah.
Hold him in the end zone. I didn't even see it. I'm
Yeah, I know. It was too much that you could see, and you have no replay, so something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just lock it when you're done.
You got it. I'll try not to forget anything this time. Have a good one. Thanks for having us by, man.
Thank you. Good to have you. Anytime you want.
A little better feeling than last time we were here, huh? Who'd you get? The Totes?
I got both of the Toth brothers. They were the two best players, and we just kept it easier if we moved to it. And the photo is of quarterback among the others.
Alright, so we need image of. Did you see what I did with my site?
No.
Watch this.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
Watch what I did. So I made I took all my sponsors. I made 600 by 100 banner ads.
Okay.
Wait, I'll show you in a second. And then at the top of my pages, I put a rotator. Not a Zeta rotator, but look at this. Watch this. So now instead of throwing each separate ad in,
but watch. Yeah, it rotates.
It rotates, but they're all the same size. So there's no
Hang on 1
gap.
second, Mike. I gotta take this.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it. Take your time, man.
Yo, just are you there? I think you picked the Highland. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. Are you on? Listen, I'm hacking. Don't rush. I'm like hacking up our equipment here, so like I'm probably not gonna be out of here for another 10-15 minutes anyway. So like, take your time. Islin, how far is it from you? Oh, yeah, you'll still get there before me, so you're good. Yeah. All right, yeah, man, no worries, man. Take your time. Like I said, I'm going to be out of here in 10 minutes. You'll still get there before me. When you get there, if you want to grab either a table or a seat at the bar, either or, I don't care. But don't wait for me. Just go in and I'll meet you there. Just text me where you are. All right, Batman. All right, see you in Islin. Bye.
Where are you going?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, nice.
Want to
gotta watch
Charlotte Knights play a game of gridiron football against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Could you unplug that, just the green cord? Yeah, I get in the, yeah. Leave the mic to the side now. I'm just doing the XLRs. Or did you take
Well, everything's like sort of. Oh, no, hold on a second.
Thank you.
Where did you find that? Where did you find that?
There's two here. Just put them apart.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Alright, so this is Sportsplex. I need your.
You need to unplug these two green cords? Or
Yes, please unplug them. Yes.
Coach Jordan Leitner after a 29-0. Appreciated, but we got to turn around quickly, so we might be in tomorrow. Awesome, Coach. Thanks for the time. Congrats on the win. I'm going to try to get Ryan.
What did he say about Evan?
Appreciated. He said he wasn't like 0-0, like he could have gone 2-1.
Like
Chris Coast of Central Jersey Sports Radio. He didn't specify.
Okay.
Last my freeze could have gone.
Let me put it in. Let me put it in here. Was it third quarter?
So, yeah. He was on for that one long drive they didn't score on, and then after that, I think he came out. So we might be in tomorrow. Chris Sakonis of Central Jersey Sports Radio here now at the Touch and Quarterback. I'm with them till the end. And you got things to passing game. With them till the end. And you guys have some big passing plays there. I'm calling it right now. Next couple of years, I'm calling it right now.
Oh boy. How do we go? Let me fight moves.
Calling it right now. Chris Sakonis of Central Jersey Sports Radio here now with Evan Toth, running back. Chris Sakonis of Central Jersey Sports Radio here now with Evan. I'm calling it right now. Here now with Evan Toth, running back form. Awesome, man. Congrats. Chris.
Okay. Voice leveler, yes. Copy.
For dates and times, Sportsplex at Metuchen. Hey, it's Chris Sakonis of Central.
Alright, receive as 10, 5, 24. Touching.
I can unplug the USB, right?
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Right here, Tooth and Tooth. Law firm. Lightner, Tooth, and Tooth.
Here's all your legal needs.
Right.
And first name needs.
Greek tragedy.
I still can't believe you said that on the radio.
Yeah, but at least I didn't say it about something bad. What did I say?
I think it was something how they didn't score on the drive. I don't remember.
It's something like that. I just had to work it in. You knew that was coming.
I was afraid it was coming. Yes.
I'm gonna hold those pictures for was it not James? Jason.
Can you unplug the USB?
It should be.
Or yeah, that's what I meant. Is I don't want to start pulling wires without.
And this one is there. I'm gonna save yours for like a file. You know, if I have something to talk about them with, right? Use that for that. All right.
That's why I wanted to get a couple so you have them.
Yeah, that's why they're good. You know, like the coaches too. I like to get the coaches when I'm there because then I can, you know, when they leave or retire or something like that, you know, I have a shot.
And the nice thing with the Hudl is you can use that for any Metuchen story you have. It's not even like necessarily specific to the rivalry.
Right.
Is this theirs?
No, that's mine. That was my extra one. So.
Yeah. Which one does it go into again? That's the one I don't.
Yeah, just you know what? Just throw this loose in that.
Doesn't matter where.
Yeah.
All right.
This is my laptop. This is the other laptop. This you could put this in the bag too.
Also loose?
Yeah. Yeah. No, this one doesn't go with the modem. I have the other shorter yellow one.
All right, now leave the road back out. Are you polished?
No, this is not going with the modem bag. Oh, they'll need it for the modem bag. So throw those loose underneath. Shove them underneath stuff. And then it's good. All right, let's just take a look here real fast. Read it over real fast. Touch and defense, pitch showed his Bulldogs defense part in 29-0. After a tight first half, Metuchen got the only touchdown needed Saturday afternoon against Highland Park late in the second quarter, and after a 29-0 shutout at Highland Park in the 88th meeting between the two arch rivals. Jason Wood scored for 2 yards out with 4:38 to go in second, and Justice Lightner got a screen pass from Ryan Toth ran it in 42 yards to score with 33 seconds to go in half. It was Bulldogs defense impressive. They not only shut up the Owls, held them 98 total yards offense in the game. And then there was Metuchen's front line that protected Ryan Toth all day long, leaving plenty of time to throw, but a handoff to whoever he wanted to get it to. Evan Toth, Ryan's brother, ran for 129 yards in the game. His third 100-yard rushing game of the season. Came out with a lower leg injury in the third quarter. By that time, the game was generally in hand. Highland Park leads the all-time series 61-26. Owls shot for 3-2 and have lost 3 straight. They just close Owls Park next week. That's 2 games. Motherfuckers, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
8, 7, 6, 5.
All right, we are uploading audio. Then we just got to tweet it.
Let me know when I can unplug the modem. You still need it?
Almost.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to get.
You can do the banner too if you want.
Yeah, let me get the board done first.
That works. Much appreciated.
I'm usually relatively slow with this stuff to the point where it's a miracle I made the flight back from Cincinnati last month or 2 months ago. because I don't know if I told you, we don't have a lot of time to get out of there after
Right.
games. The team plane leaves like maybe an hour after, but you got to get down to the bus, and you don't know where the bus always is because it depends on, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
They did give me a free burrito on the bus, so I got that going for me, which is nice. Oh, extremely nice. I ate the whole thing in the press room, and they're like, "Oh, here's more food." I'm like, "Oh shit." I was going to go on the diet, but I guess I'll hold on.
Publish. Twitter. Audio. Why are you reloading the page?
I like the running bit we had about trying all 72 flavors.
Yeah.
That was good.
Great. Story up. Done.
I got this rolled up. I don't know if I have it right because I always.
Huh?
Yeah, it's like, you know, white hours. I mean, more like the. I think I might have to tighten it up, but I'll do that when I get inside. Here, I'm just gonna save this tape up here so you can put it on the top. Can I just pass this through, and I can throw out the other tape? Yeah. Thanks.
Did you see a yellow wire in this modem bag? It was in here.
Like in the bag or taking it out to put it in? There's a yellow wire over there. I don't know if that's yours on the right.
I think they put it in the barracks bag last night. No, there was a yellow internet cable. I didn't touch it all here.
Was it in your headset bag? Was it? Oh, I think I remember seeing it. So yeah, that might have been it in there already. That's why I don't pack.
Yeah, that one goes in the loading.
They put it in the wrong bag.
I always put that in the loading bag because if I need it somewhere where I need to hook it up to
Right.
a thing, then I have it. If it's the barracks, doesn't go good, then I have anything without the loading.
Right.
So that's how you remember that one, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna say take stuff down.